So welcome to my full set review of the Witchwood expansion coming out on April 12th. Make sure to pre-order now and get 70 packs for only $49.99. Hashtag sellout. But yeah, let's go over every card here. And we'll basically just rate every card 5 to 0. And yeah, we'll see how many 5s there are. I don't see a lot from what my impressions are, but we'll go class by class. And I'll once we finish a class, I'll also basically assess or give a statement of what tier I think the class will be itself. So alright, we're gonna start with some Druid. Yeah, so Ferocious Howl. A 3-mana common. So, yeah. It's 3 mana, draw a card, gain 1 armor for each card in your hand. So currently, Druid doesn't really have bad card draw options. They already have Nourish, they have Branching Paths, they got UI. You can even run an Auctioneer package with Innervate and Moonfires. Spellstone, there's Wrath, there's tons of good options. So this, in terms of a card draw option, is terrible. Three mana for 1 draw is bad. So on that level, this card is terrible. Let's take a look at the armor side of things. Well, if you have a bunch of stuff in your hand, you could technically get 9 armor if you have 9 other cards in your hand. But Druid also has tons of really good armor options with UI again. The Death Knight, yeah, Branching Paths, which is also a better card draw option. You got Oaken Summons. I think Earthen Scales is still... Yeah, Earthen Scales is staying. So you also have Earthen Scales. There's tons of better armor options than this card. So, as a draw card, it's terrible. As an armor card option, it's bad and situational. Overall, this card is absolute trash tier, in my opinion. Is it Purify tier, as in completely useless? And I know Purify became relevant with Purify Priest, but give me a break. It's a 0. This is just terrible. This is like Purify tier. Just dust this card. It is never going to see play. And it's bad in Arena. Yeah, bad. Bad. We now have a 5-mana rare, Bewitched Guardian. 5-mana taunt, battle cry, or 5-mana taunt, 4/1 taunt, battle cry, gain +1 health for each card in your hand. Well, it's a Twilight Drake for 1 more mana, and the benefit of this is it gets taunt. So, in order for this to be just better than a Druid of the Claw, which is a 5-mana 4/6 Beast Taunt, you need to have at least, 5 cards in your hand just to make it equivalent, and it doesn't have the Beast Tag, and it doesn't have the flexibility of Charge. And Warlock is still going to be very prevalent in the meta. It's terrible against Silence. This is like trash tier card. This is just garbage. I won't give it a 0 because it's okay, but pretty bad in Arena. But another trash tier Druid card. So I give it a 1 on this one. You're saying, how's it not comparable to Shield Block? Because Warrior doesn't have good draw options. Druid does. Warrior doesn't have a ton of draw. You have Shield Block, you have Commanding Shout, you have... And then Acolyte, neutral options. There's just not a lot of good card draw. And there's synergy with Shield Block. So, that's why you can't compare it to Shield. You can't compare it. Druid has way better armor and draw options. This is like a 1-star card. Just complete trash for the most part. But it's still better than this piece of shit. Druid of the Scythe. This is a 5-mana 2 or 3-mana 2/2 common. Choose 1, transform into a 4/2 with Rush, or 2/4 with Taunt, and the minion you do get out of this will be a beast. A 4/2 with Rush is okay, but not great. A 2/4 with Taunt is garbage. You would just, this card, okay, there's been 2/4 taunts before. Squirming Tentacle is a 2/4 taunt. It's like not playable on ladder at all. A 4/2 rush trades into a 2-drop and dies. It's not very good either. And it can't go face. For a rush minion, it's very bad. For a taunt minion, it's very bad. This is another trash tier card. So I'd give this one a 1 as well. In Arena, it's pretty decent, though. 2/4 taunt in Arena is fine. But for ladder, it's just trash tier. Another 1-star card. Splintergraft. 8 mana, Druid Epic, Battlecry. Choose a friendly minion, add a 10/10 copy to your hand that costs 10. So it's an 8 mana do-nothing card, which are almost impossible to play. So the combo potential of it needs to be insane. So what do you want a 10/10 copy of? The best cards I can think of are Chargers, like a Huff, like a Stone Tusk Boar or some shit like that. You can't even use it on like a Druid of the Claw because it's it transforms, so that doesn't work. So you're looking like for a cheap Charger, or a card that can cheat mana, like an Arcane Tyrant, and then that becomes a 0 mana 10/10. Like, you play this on an Arcane Tyrant, but it has to be on the board. That's very difficult. And then you get it for 0 mana 10/10. And that's pretty good. It's very clunky, it's hard to pull off, it's super expensive, and it does nothing when you play it. I see very limited potential for this card. On ladder, I just don't see a card you would want to copy that's worth running it with. So, for that reason, I'd say it's a 2-star card. There is some potential with it, but I just don't see it being good enough for ladder as it stands, not with the current minion package. But it's kind of cool. In Arena, it's fine. 8 mana, 8/8 is fine in Arena. You can just play it. And to get the value of a 10 mana 10/10 is fine. So, it's a pretty good Arena card, but ladder right now, I just don't see I just don't see it working. So it's like a 2-star card. Something like that. The other Druid Epic, or Legendary. 5 mana, 3/7, Duskfallen Aviana. On each player's turn, the first card played costs 0. Well, the problem with this card is your opponent gets to act first. So you're giving your opponent 10 mana to work with. Effectively. I guess they'd have to have a 10 mana card for it to be... But effectively, you're giving your opponent a 10 mana head start on you. And if this somehow survives, then you get 10 mana, which could be like you get to the UI, right? Or you play your 10 mana 10/10 or whatever. It's so impossible to pull this one off. It's just impossible. Like, even against an aggro deck, they're just gonna kill it. Like, 3 mana... Like, it's got a lot of health, I guess, but the attack amount is not great. Or they could silence it, too, right? Like, yeah, they could play... They're not gonna have an expensive card in their hand, so, like, I can see how it's... Against aggro, it's, like, okay, but, I mean, you play this against Warlock, oh, they gotta play Gul'dan, or N'Zoth, or, fucking... They gotta play, Voidlord for free, and then remove this. It's just, it's terrible. But I think it's a cool card, but it's terrible. Like, how do you ever pull this off? Just don't see it. So, as it stands, it's like, it's a 1-star card. I won't say it's complete garbage, because there is some potential down the road, but right now, there's just no way you can pull off a combo with this, because it just dies, and you just help your opponent out. So yeah, I don't see it. I like the card, though. It's cool, but I don't see it at all. It's just, if your opponent gets to act first, and it's so many matchups, you just lose. Against aggro, it's like the only thing that's viable, possibly, and even then, that's a stretch. So yeah, it's like a 1-star card, unfortunately. Makes me sad. So far, the highest rated card I'm giving is a 2. To this guy, and it's not good enough for ladder. So far, Druid has got nothing. Alright, Witching Hour. 3 mana rare Druid spell. Summon a random friendly beast that died this game. So this is a combo card. I can't see it being a value card. It's too expensive for value. There's quite a few, like, there's a neutral beast being printed this expansion that's a 5-mana 3/12 taunt, that if you hit this, that's pretty nuts. Because then this is a 3-mana 3/12. That's really good. But there's some serious anti-synergy right now in Druid with this card. I would love to run this card with, like, just running Charged Devilsaurs. Because then you have a 3-mana 7/7 charge guaranteed, and you can play, like, 2 Witching Hour Savage Roar. You get 14 plus 6 damage. That's 20 burst. As long as they don't have a taunt. That's pretty good. It's not that hard to pull off, honestly. The problem is, to be able to survive in Druid, you need to play 2 specific cards these days. Spreading Plague and the Death Knight. And both of those cards generate beasts. They give you 1/5 Scarabs, and they give you 1/2 poisonous little spiders. And then you play this and you just get a crappy 1/5 taunt out of it. Like, if Druid was able to survive without the Death Knight and without Plague, I think this card is actually possibly good. But as it stands, Druid cannot survive a combo type of deck without those cards, and it nullifies the effect of this card. You just can't run it. So the only way you can run this card is if you don't run the Death Knight and Plague. Then how are you surviving? Well, you have to survive with decent minions and tempo. You need beasts to do that. I don't see it. Like, there's just no minion package or spell package that allows Druid to do that right now. So, yeah, I just don't see it. So as it stands, I think this card is just a 1-star card. I don't even think it's good enough. Like, it's not even a 2-star card, because there's no support for it. You just, like, Druid is good with Plague and Death Knight, but you can't run those cards with this card. Makes this a 1-star card. And it's terrible in Arena. 4-mana rare, 4-mana 1/6 rare Forest Guide. At the end of your turn, both players draw a card. So you could run this in, like, some kind of fatigue deck, kind of, but the stat line is awful. Like, the card I think of when I see this is, like, Jeeves. Jeeves was a 4-mana 1/4 at the end of your turn if you draw cards until you have 3. So it could be a 4-mana draw 3 cards. It was good in aggro. This is not good in aggro, but I just don't see this card doing anything. It's not fast enough for fatigue. It's not fast enough for aggro. The body is terrible. It's just an all-around shit card. This is like another 1-star card. This is bad. Doesn't work in fatigue. It doesn't really work in an aggro deck. I don't see it. So yeah. Like, you run this in mill, it's too slow. It's 1 card. So, yeah. Bad, bad, bad. Witchwood Apple. It's a 2-mana common druid spell. Add 3 2/2 treants to your hand. Each treant costs, I believe, 1 mana or 2 mana. Actually, I think they're 2 mana. I'm not 100% sure. I think they're 2 mana. Anyways, so you're paying 2 mana for 6/6 in stats that you have to play later. It's supposed to be to work with other cards, these hand-sized cards, which is not this card. It works with this card and this garbage taunt. The package that works with this card is fucking awful. I don't see it at all. And it's just like it's 2 mana, and then you have to spend 6 mana to play a 6/6 worth of stats. It's so unbelievably slow and terrible. Honestly, I think this is a 0-star card. Like, this is 0-star. This is awful. Like, you want to run this so you can get a bunch of wisps or play a mountain giant? Yeah, good luck with that. You're playing this on turn 2 and doing nothing while your opponent kills you? I don't know. I think it's a 0-star card. There's not much to talk about it, because, yeah, it works with this 4-mana epic spell. Summon a 1/1 wisp for each card in your hand. So you play that 2-mana thing on 2, So then you have 3 extra cards in your hand, and then you pull off the Dream on turn 4, and you get 7 1/1s, and you get a 4 mana 7/7. And then your opponent swipes you, or lightning storms you, or any AoE clears this. Any AoE, Defile, Hellfire, Despicable Dreadlord, it clears it. And then, okay, well, let's say I want to combo it with the buffer. The cheapest buffer you can run with this is Power of the Wild. So then you play this on 6 mana, you get 4 mana, 7/7, and then Power of the Wild, and then you have a 6 mana, 12, what is it, 14/14. And then it dies to Hellfire, Defile anyways. Or Lord Goffrey. Or Consecration. Or Flame Strike. Or Blizzard. Or... It's just not it's not gonna work. Not with the current cards. If Mark of the Lotus was around, maybe. But Mark of the Lotus is rotating. There's just not enough buffers to work. So, I honestly think this is like a 0-star card too. Like, why would you play this over Living Mana? Right? Like, I don't see it. So... And there's a reason why Aggro Druid sees no play right now. Because the AoEs are good in the top decks right now. And this is even more fragile than something like Living Mana. So yeah, 0-star. Yet again. The Druid cards are abysmal. And then, lastly, we have a 5 mana Epic Beast. It's a 5 mana 2/6 Gloom Stag. Taunt, Battle Cry. If your deck has only odd cost cards, gain +2/+2. So this is a 5 mana 4/8 Taunt if it works. Wow, that's incredible. Incredible, you say. 5 mana 4/8 Taunt? Well, there's currently a card that's a 5 mana 4/7 Taunt. Beast, neutral, that sees 0 play. And you don't have to gimp your deck, you just need 2 other minions out there. Alright, okay, well, this has +1 health. I'll run that. Well, you gotta run only odd cost cards. So, no Wild Growth. No Swipe. No Wrath. No UI. No chance of winning a game. 0 stars. This is fucking terrible. If you get this epic, feel free to disenchant it. It is fucking awful. Alright, just run, literally, I'll show it, just run this card. Run this card instead. You don't have to gimp your deck. Where is it? Where is this card? Show me. Run Nesting Rock. It's a 5 mana 4/7 beast with taunt. Just have a couple other minions. It's just as good. That 1 health ain't gonna kill ya. Trust me. Run this card. And this card sees 0 play, by the way. Alright. So, that's all the Druid cards. I gave every Druid card either a 0, a 1, and I gave 1 card a 2. So, how do I see Druid faring in the next expansion? It's not looking too good, because Druid's already pretty bad right now, mainly because of Warlock. If Warlock gets nerfed, I actually think Druid could be okay. They still have Spreading Plague, they still have UI, they still have the Death Knight, they still have some stuff. But these cards are just awful. Like, awful. I get why they didn't want to give Druid anything good. Because Jade Druid a year ago was really good. And they do the expansions 3 expansions ahead of time. They don't have the foresight, right? So, I mean, Druid is going to be a tier 3, tier 4 deck as it stands. Druid is in a rough spot. I think the best thing you could do in Druid is, like, the quest, but Kuhn is rotating. Even that's going to be difficult. So, I don't know, man. It's bad. It is bad. So, yeah, don't plan on playing Druid in Standard. It's not going to be a thing. I'll be shocked. Alright, so Druid's in really, 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 really bad shape. Let's move on to Hunter. Hunter. We will start with Vilebrood Skitterer. It has a 5 mana common beast. 1/3. Terrible stats. Terrible. So its effect is going to be nuts, right? It's a poisonous beast, and it has Rush. 5 mana, Situational Assassinate. Yay. Can't really get through taunts, so that's bad. So it might be able to kill what you want to kill, and then you're done your turn for 5 mana. Cool. This is a 0-star card. We now have 5 mana rare Carrion Drake. It is a 5 mana rare dragon, 3/7 in stats. Battle Cry. If a minion died this turn, gain poisonous. Alright, so the condition is very easy to accomplish. You can either kill off one of your own minions or an opponent's minion. You play this, it's a 5 mana 3/7 with poisonous. Is that good? Not really. The stats are... It's gonna stick around. It's 7 health for 5 mana. Is this what Hunter really wants to do, to get sticky poisonous minions out there? Probably not. But it's an okay card. The stats are good, the effect is good. The attack is low, but the poisonous is what you're after, right? You want to use it to kill other minions. So, I mean, it's an okay card. Is it good enough for ladder? Probably not. It's like a 2-star card. It's not bad. But it's not really that... I don't think it's quite good enough for ladder. I'd say it's like a 2-star card. You probably won't see it on ladder. But it's a decent card. There's no way it's bad. It's 5 mana 3/7 poisonous dragon. I don't know. Just like, what is this doing in Hunter? Like, it's just not going to do anything in Hunter. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird one. I'll give it a 2 stars. It's okay. Dire Frenzy, 4 mana, 3. It's a 4 mana Hunter common spell. You play this and it gives a beast +3/+3. So it immediately gives a beast a pretty good buff. It's like a slightly worse Blessing of Kings, right? Blessing of Kings is a 4 mana 4/4 buff. And that's seen a lot of play. So that's not that bad. And you get to shuffle 3 copies of said beast into your deck, or your opponent's beast, which you probably don't want to do. And it gives them +3/+3 as well. So you give like Huffer this, you give a Stone Tusk Boar this, and then you draw them and you go face, 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 face. That's pretty good, right? If you watched the reveal stream last night, or yesterday morning, sorry, you'll note that it's kind of hard to pull off because Hunter has no card draw. And it's not like they printed any good draw for Hunter. So this card would be pretty strong, actually, if Hunter had decent cycle, but they don't. So that makes it a pretty high roll card. I don't know. It's a good card for sure, I think. It's just in the wrong class again. Like, it's really hard to cycle through your cards and get this to work. But the effect is pretty nuts. I like the card. It's cool. It's like a combo card. But combo cards in Hunter have traditionally never worked. So, I don't know. It's like another 2-star card. I don't think it's good enough for ladder, but it's not bad. It's a slightly worse Blessing of Kings that gets you some extra value. And could be insane if you actually draw those cards pretty quickly. I don't think it's going to see ladder play. That's the problem. So I can't really give it a 3-star card. A 3-star rating. It's more like a 2. It's close. It's close. I don't know. I'll stick with 2 stars on this one. But it's not... It has potential for sure. Oh, wait. I gotta go to this one. This is a 2-mana Epic Secret Rat Trap. After your opponent plays 3 cards in a turn, summon a 6/6 rat. So it's a 2-mana 6/6 beast. Holy shit, that's good. That's really good, right? Well, your opponent has to play 3 cards in a turn for this to actually proc. This card is so meta-dependent, it hurts. You can't force your opponent to play 3 cards. So this card is as strong as the meta it's in. If you're in a meta where people are average playing 1 or 2 cards a turn, this card is absolutely awful. if we're in a meta where people are playing a lot of cards every single turn, this card is crazy. Currently, we're in a meta. What I foresee for the meta coming up is a lot of Warlock, and they don't play a lot of cards every turn. So it's very bad against Warlock. And we're looking at, like, mid-range decks, or aggro decks, right? And it's alright against aggro. So, it's so meta-dependent, it's really hard to say. Like, it's either... this card is either insane or useless. There's no real in-between on it. So, I'm gonna go with, like, a 3-star card on this one. This could see ladder play. It's a very crazy card. But only if the meta supports it. It really depends on the meta of what your opponents are doing on average. If on average, this goes off on turns 2, 3, or 4, it's crazy. If not, it's garbage. So I'm going to go with a 3-star card, but it could very well see no play. It is one of the most meta-dependent cards I've ever seen. Like, it really is. How is a 2-mana 6/6 bad if you can get it off reliably? It's not. Especially in Hunter. Because then you just fucking smash them in the face. It's pretty good. But, I don't know. And one of the problems I have with it is, okay, what kind of decks play a lot of cards every turn? Aggro decks. So they'll play like 3 minions in a turn. Well, they got 3 minions that are wide, and you have one big thing. Typically, one big thing against a wide board is bad, but then you play Unleash the Hounds and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm giving this a 3. I actually don't think it's really going to see much play. But it just, if the meta supports it, this card is nuts. So I'll give it a 3. It's my compromise. I can't give it a 4. Like, I would love to, if it like actively, if this actively procs every game, it's like a 4 or 5-star card. But I'll give it a 3. Wing Blast. This is a 4-mana rare hunter spell. Deal 4 damage to a minion. If any minion died this turn, this costs 1. So this is like insane tempo removal. Insane tempo removal. But Hunter's not really about tempo removal, right? Like, all these cards are like tempo control and like mid-range. It's just weird in Hunter. Mid-range Hunter has worked a little bit, but overall not much. Oh, in almost any other class, this card is nuts. But in Hunter, it's just good. But I think it's just really solid. Like, 1 mana, deal 4 damage to a minion is super strong. I could see running this. It's just good removal. Is it better than Flanking Strike? That's the question I have. Like, Flanking Strike is a 4 mana, deal 3 damage, so it's like 3 mana more on average, right? But I get a 3/3 beast out of it. I mean, you could run this with Flanking Strike, I guess. I mean, if you want to play a mid-range Hunter or a tempo Hunter that controls board, this is great. So, I don't know. In that deck, that's probably good enough to play on ladder, honestly. I don't know. This is like a 3-star. 3 or 2-star card. I'll go with 3. There might be enough tools to support a decent mid-range Hunter with the legendary and stuff. I don't hate it. I think it's alright. 1 mana, deal 4 damage. It's like Soulfire without the discard. Which can be, like, Soulfire is insane. So, yeah, I'll give it a 3. I think it's a good card. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. And it's very good in Arena. This is a really good Arena card. Holy crap. Alright. Toxmonger. 4 mana epic. It's a 4 mana 2/4. Whenever you play a 1-cost minion, give it poisonous. Wow, that is clunky. Stat line's terrible. And you have to play another 1-cost minion to make this work. So, you'll want to play Elven Archer or Stone Tusk Boar. I think Elven Archer is probably the best card you could ever play with this. It's a 5 mana combo to assassinate one minion, and develop garbage stats. And then you can't play your 1-drop on curve. Yeah, this is like 1 star. No, this is zeros. This is 0 stars. This is complete trash. And it's an epic, so that feels bad. It's just a 0-star card, and it's terrible in Arena, too. Yeah, this is awful. Alright. Duskhaven Hunter, a 3-mana rare. It's a 3-mana 2/5 stealth. Each turn this is in your hand. Swap its attack and health. So this card is really good if it's a 5/2 in a Face Hunter style deck. 5/2 stealth is crazy, because it's hard to kill, and then you're going face with it. Like, look at Cat Trick. That's a 4/2, and it quite often is very, very strong. But a 2/5 stealth is garbage, because this doesn't have a beast tag on it. So, like, half the time this card's really good on curve. Half the time it's bad. If you hold this in your hand in the mulligan, your first turn it becomes a 5/2, then a 2/5, then a 5/2. So you're going to feel good about holding this card, and you're going to feel good about drawing this on turn 2. Is it good enough for an aggro hunter deck? Probably not. It's competing with Animal Companion, Kill Command, Eaglehorn Bow. But a 3-mana 5/2 stealth is really strong. If it didn't have the switch, I'd actually give this a pretty high rating. But because half the time it's really bad, I just don't think it's quite good enough. So I'm going to go with a 2-star on this guy. In Arena, it's a very good card, I think. Overall, either stat line in Arena is fine. But yeah, on ladder, this is like a 2-star card. It's not going to see a ladder play, but it's close. It's close. This is one of the Hunter legendaries. Emeriss is a 10-mana 8/8 dragon. So 10-mana card. It better have a crazy effect. Battlecry. Double the attack and health of all minions in your hand. Hunter with cards in their hand by turn 10. LUL. Yeah, it's 10 mana, do nothing. You need to have quite a few cards in your hand to make this worth it. Hunter can't draw cards worth shit. So, on average, you're going to buff like 1 or 2 cards at most. And if you can play this card on turn 10 as a Hunter, you've already won the game, or you're dead. So this card's pretty good for the memes. You're going to see this card exclusively in Arena off of Bone Drake most times. So, as an Arena Bone Drake card, it's pretty good. As a ladder card, it's like, it's a 1-star card. I don't see it at all. It's pretty cool, though. It's a cool card, but it's not. It's bad. It's in the wrong class. Let's just put it that way. Hunting Mastiff is a 2-mana common beast with 2/1 stats, Echo, Rush. So, on curve, this card is absolute shit. It's a bluegill warrior that can't go face. But the value of it is, if you draw it later, you can play 4 or 5 of these. It's a decent board refill. But the stat's still pretty shit, man. It's pretty bad. Like, against the Spreading Plague, it doesn't do anything. Against Voidwalkers, it does nothing. It's really shitty in ladder, even. This is like a 1-star card. In Arena, it's a really good card. Echo in Arena is nuts, by the way. Any Echo card in Arena is crazy. But, yeah, as a ladder card, it's shit. But it's pretty valuable, potentially. It's actually insane with Deathstalker Rexar. Potentially. Could be really good for Deathstalker Rexar. Because you can combo this with another cheap beast with an effect. And then you can echo these fuckers out. It's really good. So, this is a really cool card for the Death Knight. I like it for the Death Knight. But as a standalone card, it's just like a 1-star card. It's just not going to be good enough at all for ladder. It's not even really good. But it really makes Deathstar Rexar potentially way better because of this card. And lastly, we have The other Hunter legendary, which is Tommy Wiseau riding a horse. Houndmaster Shaw. It's a 4 mana 3/6. Your other minions have Rush. I mean, it's premium stats for 4 mana. Giving your other minions Rush is very powerful. It allows you to dictate trades if you want. It's way better than Tundra Rhino, in my opinion. They don't have to be beasts. It can literally be anything. This is like a very strong card. Very strong. Whether there's the archetype in Hunter to make it work, I don't know. But, I don't know, it's very good. And it supports a less aggressive Hunter deck, which is... It's like mid-range tempo, right? It's like a 4-star card, I think. Mid-range Hunter has to be good, or tempo Hunter has to be good to make this work. But as a standalone card, it's like a 4-star card. It's really good. I like it a lot. We'll see. It could very well see play, but I mean, how many premium 4-drop Hunter legendaries have we seen with good effects that never see any play? This could be just another one of them. We've seen Professor Putricide. We've seen Princess Ahurahan. All premium statted minions with good effects that see no play, so... Time will tell, but I don't know. I see this one doing much better than those cards. We have not given 5 stars to any card yet. That is our first 4-star rating, and that's our second class. So we're done with Hunter. We gave a bunch of... we gave a 4, we gave some 3s, a couple 2s. I think only 1 0. I think the Hunter cards are actually pretty decent. Overall. Is it good enough to make Hunter good? I think so. Hunter's not that bad, and a lot of the other classes are getting worse. Hunter just struggles a lot with Warlock right now, and Warlock is sticking around, so... I don't know. I think Hunter's going to be like a tier 2, tier 3 type of class. But these cards overall aren't bad. And there's some fun ones in there, so... I don't know. I like the Hunter cards. They're pretty cool. Interesting stuff. Alright, Mage. Mage cards. I like how I said on stream yesterday, okay, I was super tired, and I'm like, oh, this is like Shatter, but worse. When it is like Shatter, but 100% better in every way. So this is Snap Freeze. 2 mana, common mage spell. Freeze a minion. If it's already frozen, destroy it. So Shatter was a 2 mana spell that destroyed any frozen minion. So this literally does what Shatter does, but it can also freeze minions if you can't kill it that turn. It's still not good enough, but it's better than Shatter. And Shatter was like an okay primordial glyph target. So you know what this card's going to be? This is going to be a pretty good primordial glyph target again. Basically. So like this is a good glyph card, but probably it. I don't see you running this naturally in your deck. So this, I think, is like a 1-star card. I don't even see it as a 2-star card. I don't see it even being like close to ladder capabilities. And I also don't see it as a good arena card. So yeah, it's like a 1-star card. But it is strictly better than Shatter, which was a 0-star card. Shatter was dumpster tier, terrible garbage. Actually, I should probably call the 0-star card the Shatter tier. Because Purify actually saw ladder play. Shatter didn't. We have Curio Collector. It is a 5-mana rare. It is 5 mana 4/4. Whenever you draw a card, gain +1/+1. So it's really slow. It curves perfectly into Alaneth. But really slow, really bad. Like 5 mana 4/4 is terrible. For this card to be good, the turn you play it, you need to draw 2 cards. And then you have a 5 mana 6/6. That's above the mana curve. I don't know. It's just bad. This is another 1-star card. It's not trash tier, but it's a 1-star card. It's just bad. In Arena, it's okay. But even there... Actually, in Arena, it's bad. This is all around a terrible card. There's not much more to it, honestly. This is my favorite. This is a 3-mana mage rare spell, Cinderstorm. Deal 5 damage, randomly split amongst all enemies. So there's a card called Arcane Missiles. It's 1 mana, deal 3 damage, randomly split among all enemies. So for 3 times the mana, you get 2 more missiles. This is 0 stars. This is fucking terrible. Terrible. 0-star card. Like, this is awful. What are you doing with this piece of shit? It's just bad. There's not much more to say. It's 5 damage for 3 mana. Randomly split. Ugh. Arcane Keysmith is a 4-mana epic 2/2 battle cry. Discover a secret, put it into the battlefield. I am very thankful that Ice Block is rotating. Because you could already get Ice Block off of Glyphs, Kabbalist Tomes, Babbling Books, and then you would have been able to get them off of this too. But you can't get Ice Block off this guy, so that's pretty good, right? So the stat line on this card is garbage, but you get to play 3 mana worth of stuff for free. And depending on the matchup, you can kind of select what's good. So, like, you could get an insane insane counterspell or spellbender against Paladin or whatever you want. A mirror entity against a big deck. I mean, the stats are so bad, but the effect is really good. But there are a lot of bad secrets still in Standard. Like, you got Frozen Clone. You have Ice. Yeah, what? Barrier. You have what else is bad? Depending on the matchup, Explosive Runes can be bad, but usually pretty good. I see this being used in like an aggro deck, to be honest. It's not that bad, but it's probably not good enough for ladder. I think it's like a 2-star card. The stats suck, but pushing a Polymorph is rotating, which would have made it maybe a little better with Warlock being around. But it would have curved nicely into their lackeys, but yeah, I don't see it. It's like a 2-star card. The stats are just too bad, but the effect is very strong. I wouldn't be surprised if it sees some play. It's not as bad as it looks. It's definitely not 1-star or 0-star. It's like a 3-star card. Or 2-star card, sorry. 2 stars. Bonfire Elemental. I've had some debates with people about this one. This is a 5-mana rare. Elemental. Has 5/5 in stats. Battlecry. If you played an Elemental, last turn, draw a card. This card is very dependent if on Elemental Mage is a thing. If Elemental Mage is a thing, this card is absolutely crazy. Azure Drake was a staple in like every deck for a long, long time. It was a 5-mana 4/4 dragon, draw a card, spell damage, +1. The spell damage was usually pretty irrelevant. It was good, but it was quite often irrelevant. The draw card was the crazy part about it. This is nuts if you can actively get the 5/5 draw card, because the stats are really good, and you're drawing a card, and it's an elemental which triggers your other elemental synergies. So it's really good. It's like way better than Servant of Kalamos, which is a 5-mana 4/5 Discover elemental. Honestly, at bare minimum for me, this is a 3-star card. If Elemental Mage is good, which I think it might be, I actually think it could be a decent deck. I think it's a 4-star card. So actually, I'm going to give it a 4-star. I have 4 stars. I really like this card. I think Elemental Mage could very well be a thing. Jaina's nuts. Artificers really can still allow you to win without Ice Block. There's a lot of potential for that deck. One of the first decks I'm trying is Elemental Control or Elemental Midrange deck. I really think it's good. So I'm giving this a 4 stars. Like, I think it's a very good card. But if Elemental Mage is bad, it's like 0. It's like a 1-star card if Elemental Mage is bad. Because it's a 5-mana 5/5. It does nothing. Hi. My cat is meowing. She disagrees. I know some people are really not... Like, I talked to Crip about this one. He doesn't think it's that good. I think it's a 4-star card if Elemental Mage is good. And it's an insane 5-drop, which Mage does not fucking have at all. They got a really good 4-drop in Water Elemental. You could run Leyline Manipulator. You can run some other stuff. It's really... This card is nuts. Trust me. If Elemental Mage is good, this is a 2-up in every Elemental Mage deck you're ever going to play. I think it's very good. 4 stars. Fight me over it. I don't care. So, here is one of the Mage legendaries. It is a 2-mana 2/2 Archmage Arugal. Whenever you draw a minion, add a copy of it to your hand. So Chromagus, back in the day, was an 8-mana 6/8 dragon. Whenever you draw a card, add a copy of it to your hand. The card was way too slow, but the effect turned out to be insane. So the card saw no play, but whenever it did stick, it was nuts. This card is also nuts. You get just like one copy of a minion, it's really good. And if you get anything more than that, it's crazy. And I think Mage is going to be pretty minion heavy going forward. Like, even in an Elemental Mage, it's really good. You get multiple Elementals out of it. You play this Intellect, you hit like 2 Water Elementals. Or just 1 Water Ele. And then you have 2. It's nuts. Like, it's a really good card. And you can play it in multiple different archetypes. It doesn't have to be just really minion heavy. It can be half spells, half minions, and on average, maybe you get a copy of 1 minion. That's good enough. That's good enough. You, like, seriously, 1 copy of a premium minion is way more than you need for value. And you could easily get more than that. So, this is like a 4 or 5-star card. I don't think it's meta-defining, but it's definitely a 4-star card in my book. It's, like, as strong as I think Bonfire Elemental is, this card's definitely stronger without any condition. Without any condition. You don't need Elementals to be good for this card to be good. So, like, I'd give this star a 4. This is like a 4.5. It's a 4-star card in my opinion. Really good. And it's a great arena card, too. So, yeah. And I like the design of this card. It's, like, designed around value and playing a longer game, so. Yeah, I love the card. 4-star card. Book of Specters is a rare spell. Draw 3 cards, discard any spells drawn. So this is, like, Arcane Intellect, but for 1 mana less and for an extra card. That's probably really good. That's probably very good. It works with Alaneth. It works with your Death Knight. Minions. You could run this with spells. You can run this with spells. You discard a spell. Oftentimes you don't feel that bad about it. You might be getting to your win condition faster anyways. Like, yeah, you'll feel bad if you discard a Fireball when you're close to lethal. But, I mean, 2 mana, draw 3 cards in Mage is fucking insane. This card is just nuts. There's no way this is not at least 4 stars. Is it 5 stars? Possibly. And you combo it with the Archmage Arugal. Holy shit. I mean, the only spells you're going to feel really bad about discarding are, like, aggressive. Like, this is running aggressive decks. This could help aggro and tempo mage stay alive. I'd even run it. Honestly, you run this even in a control deck. This card is like a 5-star card. Yeah, it's a 5-star card. It's just like, you're going to run this in pretty much any mage deck. Like, what are you going to feel that bad about discarding for spells? Fireball, Blizzard, like, you're going to feel bad if you really need that board clear. Yeah, it's a 5-star card. It's nuts. Really good card. And in Arena, it's really good too. It's just crazy. Like, 2 mana, draw 3 cards. Nuts. Even if it's 2 mana, draw 2 cards, discard 1 card. Nuts. 2 mana, draw 1 card, discard 2. It's pretty bad, but that's a low roll. And it's going to happen not that often. Crazy card. Yeah, 5 stars. 5 stars. So that's a 4, a 4, and a 5. That's pretty nuts. Alright, the other mage legendary. Toki Time Tinker. 6 mana, 5/5. Add a random legendary minion from the past to your hand. So, from what I understand, it's any wild legendary you can get. I love this card. It's so cool. It's just fun. You play this on 6, you get Dr. Boom on 7, you feel great. You play this and get Major Domo, well, you don't feel so good. There's a lot. On average, the wild legendaries are terrible, on average. But there are the high rolls that are going to be really cool. And I'm going to play this card in my meme decks. Is it good enough for ladder? No. Probably not. Maybe in a crazy value mage. Maybe? But only in a crazy control value mage. Just for that extra value. But yeah, this is a fun card. I love the design. I wish it was neutral. I don't really see why this has to be a mage card. It would be cool if it was neutral, honestly. But I like it. It's going in my 35 leg mage deck. For sure. It's fun. I'll give it a 2 stars. Even though it's a 1-star card, I'm giving it 2. Fuck that. I'm even close enough to give it a 3, but I'm not that optimistic about it actually seeing ladder play. For any card for me to get a 3, it needs to get ladder play, and I don't see it. Vex Crow is a 4 mana common 3/3 beast. Whenever you cast a spell, summon a random 2-cost minion. I don't see any archetype for mage to really support this. If you combo it with 1 spell, it's good. Basically, 1 spell, this card's not bad. Because on average, a 2-drop is a 2/2, on average. So you're looking at a 4 mana 5/5, but then you have to combo with a spell, so it's not exactly a 4 mana 5/5. But my god, this can snowball a game, right? In Arena, this card's very strong. In Ladder, there's not that many cheap mage spells. I guess, like, you play this, and you glyph, and then you glyph. Like, you glyph into something you can play, and then you have 2 2-drops. It's not bad. It's definitely a good card. Is it good enough? I don't know. And I know you can get Doomsayer, but that's a low roll, and you know, with Hearthstone cards, you can't look at low rolls. Everything's about high rolling or maximizing mana cheating and stuff like that. And this is a high roll type of card. And it can snowball too. So those 2 mixes can make for a very good ladder card. I think it's a 3-star card. I think it could very well see some play. You just need 1 spell to proc for this to be good enough to play, which makes it very easy to play. The beast tag is irrelevant, but yeah. This could be a very toxic card, actually, but yeah, it's a 3-star card. It's pretty good. I don't know how much play it'll see, but definitely 3 stars. And then we have the last card here, is a 3 mana common. It's called Black Cat. It's a 3/3 beast. Spell damage +1, so that's alright. Battle Cry. If your deck has only odd cost cards, draw a card. If this didn't have a condition, this card is absolutely crazy. It's Azure Drake, but way better. But you have to only run odd cost cards. Are you going to want to play a mage deck without this, honestly? I just don't see it, man. This card's nuts. This card's pretty fucking nuts. You can run Cinderstorm with it. You have to gimp your deck way too hard for a shitty, like, a pretty good minion. And, yeah, this is a 1-star card. You can't play it without the battle cry. It's not good enough. With the battle cry, it is good enough, but you have to gimp your deck way too hard. I can't see odd cost mage being a thing. And odd cost allows you to have an upgraded hero power. Upgraded mage hero power isn't that good. 2 mana, 2 damage is pretty, like, it's decent, but it's not worth gimping your deck over. Like, upgraded hero powers were never that crazy. But, like, when you, like, only one really saw much play, right? Warriors. And that one you didn't really have to do much to get. You played Justicar, right? It wasn't that hard. There's one turn of tempo loss, which Control Warrior could follow, could have, right? It was okay. But, gimping your whole deck about it, just so you can have an Azure Drake on 3? Not a chance, man. It's a 1-star card. So overall, Mage is getting some really good stuff. Arcane Keysmith is decent, and it could be good. I just don't see it being good enough. But it's not a bad card by any means. I really think this card is nuts. I think this card is crazy. And I think this card is like God tier. So Mage is getting some really good stuff, which they deserve because they're losing. They've lost more than any other class. Mage has lost more than any other class. So I'm glad it's getting some love because Mage is like my favorite class. So Mage will be my first deck that I will be trying out for sure. And it was also the first deck I tried out for Frozen Throne. It was also the first deck I tried out for Ungoro. So, yeah. Good stuff. No, nothing has lost more than Mage. In terms of Hall of Fame, that's what I'm talking about. Ice Block, Cold Light effectively, Ice Lance, Azure Drake was in a lot of Mage decks, like, shitload. Mage, and I think Mage will be top tier. I think Mage will struggle with Warlock, but I think Mage will be able to be good aggro-wise and will be able to be great control-wise. And be good on a mid-range level, too. So, I think Mage is going to be like a tier 1 archetype. Tier 1, tier 2, for sure. There's some really strong stuff. Ice Block hurts, but it definitely doesn't kill the class at all. So, I'm excited as a Mage player to play Mage coming up on Thursday, for sure. We will be building an Elemental Mage deck. 100% day 1. Paladin. I know Secret Mage is dying, which I'm thrilled about, but there's plenty of other things you could be able to do with Mage. Trust me. Alright, starting with Paladin here. Paladin Secret. It's an epic, so you have to pay for it for some reason. Hidden Wisdom. After your opponent plays 3 cards in a turn, draw 2 cards. This card is like, okay. So remember, what was the Hunter Secret I said was a 3-star card, depending on the meta? What was it called? Rat Trap. Like I said, this card's super meta dependent. This card is super meta dependent. It has the same condition. It's identical. Your opponent has to play 3 cards. Thing is, this you would run in an aggressive deck, right? You know what? You're already running an aggressive deck. Called Arms, which draws you 3 cards already. And plays them. Know what else they run? Divine Favor. It draws you 6 cards for 3 mana. You don't need more draw in Aggro Mage. Or Aggro Paladin. This is like only good in the mirror. But you don't want to run this and Divine Favor and... like, you just don't. And Divine Favor is fucking broken and stupid. So, even though the effect, 1 mana, draw 3 cards, or draw 2 cards is nuts, if it actually gets procced, it's still not worth running, because you can just run Divine Favor and Call to Arms. Well, you're always running Call to Arms. Because Call to Arms is the most broken card in Hearthstone right now. So, yeah. This is like a 1-star card. Even if it goes off, the effect is strong, there's no deck that you need to run this in. There's just no point. There's no point. Get it off Hydrologist? Might be a good option off Hydrologist, but I'm not rating it on that point. Rating it as a standalone card. And yeah, Hydrologist option could be fine, but that's a whole different bag. And you ask, like, well, if the effect is really strong, and if the meta is right for it to go off, why are you rating Rat Trap 3 stars and this a 1-star? Because you don't need this effect in Paladin right now. You have Divine Favor, you have Call to Arms. You just don't need this card. You don't want to be spending 1 mana to do that. You want to spend 1 mana to vomit your hand of a minion so you can Divine Favor. You don't want to spend it to get this, and then it fucks up your Divine Favor. Like, it's counterintuitive. You're not running this over Divine Favor. Period. Ever. So, you're not running this card. It's 1-star. Then we have one of the Paladin legendaries. It is a 5-mana 5/5 Prince Liam. Battle Cry. Transform all 1-cost cards in your deck into legendary minions. This card is fucking garbage. 1-star. It is just no good. Average legendary is bad. You're only transforming 1-cost minions in your deck, which on average are out of your deck because you've played at least 1 Call to Arms by now. So you've played 1 Call to Arms, you've played a couple 1-drops already. So you might be lucky and transform 1-1-drop, period. Is it worth running a 5-mana 5/5 do nothing in Aggro Paladin for? No. This card is not worth it. It's for the memes, I guess. I don't know. It's a 1-star card. It's just not good. Oh, Secrets too, right? Do you want to run Secrets for this? No. It can be okay with the 1-mana spell of get 2 1/1s. That's okay. But you don't want to run Secrets. You don't want to run Blessing of Might, probably. Still think it's trash. And honestly, you'd rather draw those cards, because they synergize with your deck. A random legendary, on average, does not synergize or help you out with your deck. No, it's bad. It's bad. 1-star. Borderline 0. It's a 1-star card. Ghostly Charger. 5-mana 3/4 Divine Shield Rush. Fill your pack with a common. This is like 1-star card. This is just like a filler. It's a filler. 1-star. 1-star. 8-mana 3/4 Weapon. It's a rare. Silver Sword. So 8 mana. Very expensive weapon. After your hero attacks, give your minions +1/+1. So you're paying 3 more mana than a rogue would pay for Assassin's Blade, but the effect is you buff your board every time you attack with it, which can be very strong. If you hit like 2 or 3 minions, that's pretty good. If you hit anything more than that, it's just nuts. But it's really, really slow. And you already have Vine Cleaver in Paladin, which I argue is way better than this. It's very win more, which is what Paladin wants to do in ladder, to be honest, so that's fine. But I think it's too slow and too expensive for that deck. Vine Cleaver is just better in every way. You're developing minions no matter what. You're doing more damage, and you're playing it earlier. I think it's, I think this is like a 2-star card. I don't think it's like that bad. I just think there's better options. Free Shaman tier. Right. We're gonna go with Devorer's suggestion here, because Purified did see some play. I will get the triggers a little out. Let's go with Free Shaman tier. Alright. It's like a 2-star card. I don't think it's quite good enough ladder. There's just better options right now. It's a really good arena card. This card is like a 4 or 5-star arena card, though. Really good. But for ladder, I just think there's better options. So it's like a 2-star card. Paragon of Light is a 3-mana rare 2/5. While this minion has 3 or more attack, it has Taunt and Lifesteal. When I first saw this card, I thought it was pretty strong. The more I think about it, I still think it's very strong. Just needs 1+1 health attack buff to get the Lifesteal Taunt. That's pretty strong. This curving into Kings is crazy. You're looking at a 6/9 Taunt with Lifesteal. Holy shit. The 3-drops gap in Paladin is taking a hit with the loss of Rallying Blade and Steward of Darkshire. So I could see this card seeing some play. It's not bad at all. It lives. This is a 3-mana minion with 5 health. It's gonna live. So you just get 1 buff on it, and then you're like, you got a big Taunt, Lifesteal. Like, I like this a lot in like a mid-range or control deck, or even aggro can make use of it. It's really good. Like, this is like a 3 or 4-star card, I think. I don't see how it's bad at all. It just needs the deck to support it. I'll give it a 3 stars. I don't think it's quite good enough to be like an amazing card, but it's very good. It's like borderline 4. The stat line is great, and then you can build it up, and it's just nuts. It's so hard to remove this. Outside of Shadow Word Pain, and you're not going to see Priest anyways, it's very hard to remove. Yeah. I'll go with the 4-star, actually. I think this card's really good. 4-star card, like, even as a 3-mana 2/5. I'll go 4 stars. I think it's really good. I might be being a little too generous, but you can't, like, Taunt is very strong, and even in an aggro mirror, because then you can, like, block out good trades very early. And Lifesteal is nothing to be no joke either. So, yeah, it's a really good card. I'll give it a 4. That plus Spike Ridge? Yeah, holy shit. Well, I mean, Spike Ridge gives it Taunt anyways, but the Lifesteal's crazy. Yeah, it's just a card that's hard to remove that gets even better the more you build it up. You're not going to be able to remove that card easily. At all. So, yeah. This is the other Paladin Legendary. 4 mana, 4/3, Divine Shield. Whenever you restore health, gain Divine Shield. Wow. So what you want to go do with this card, the Glass Knight, what you want to do with this card is you're going to want to disenchant it. Because why are you wanting to restore health all the time in Paladin? Like, it works with True Silver, I guess. It's just not worth it at all. This is a 1-star card. I mean, it's annoying when you play it. It's a bit sticky, but it's competing with the mana slot of Call to Arms, Consecration, True Silver, Blessing of Kings. It's bad. It is bad. And it's not worth. You can't run it with this, really. Because if you want to buff this on turn 4, it's not going to have Lifesteal on turn 4. It's super clunky. No, it's just bad. This is a bad card. It's a bad legendary. You're going to feel bad when you get this as your free class legendary. But, yeah. It's 1-star card. Like, there's been 4... What was the closest equivalent? Like, let's say you don't care about restoring the Divine Shield, which you shouldn't, because restoring it's going to be fucking annoying. The closest equivalent was the N'Zoth card, or the Cthulhu card. The 4 mana 4/2 Divine Shield, and that saw barely any play. So why would this? Like, 1 more health is pretty irrelevant. No, it's just not a good card. You're not going to see it. It's a 1 mana card. Or 1-star card. My god, I can't speak. Then we have Bellringer Sentry. It's a 4 mana 3/4 Rare. Battlecry and Death Rattle. Put a secret from your deck in your battlefield. You have to run secrets. All of the secrets in Paladin suck right now. There's no good secrets in Paladin. The new one they introduced is not really that good. You don't really want to run that, because you're already running Divine Favor and Cold Arms. And the stats suck. This is just a really shitty Mysterious Challenger. It's a 1-star card. It's not going to see any play. Yeah, on turn 4, I want to play this and not Called Arms, right? Give me a break. If Avenge was a card, that card's worth playing. But Avenge is not a card. So we have a 2-mana epic Cathedral Gargoyle. It's a 2/2, so terrible. But Battlecry, if you're holding a dragon, gain Taunt and Divine Shield, which is crazy. It's a shielded mini-bot with Taunt. Awesome. Problem is you gotta run dragons. There's like very few dragons you'd ever want to run in Paladin right now. If you're playing an aggro list, you could run Scalebane, right? But it's not enough to hit. So you need to run like 6 or 8 dragons, and there's just not enough dragons you'd want to play. If this card could consistently be activated, it is a 5-star card. But dragons and Paladin are garbage. So as a result, it's a 1-star card. So it's one of those cards that's nuts if Dragon Paladin's good, but Dragon Paladin will not be good. And it's an epic, so yay, dust, I guess. Whoops. Alright. Let me just load that up so it's in the background. Alright, sound the bells. Sound the bells. And in comparison, what would I rate Shield and Minibot? If it was a standard card, it's a 5-star card. Because Shield and Minibot would be in every Paladin deck right now. Just like it is in Wild. Because it's a 5-star card. It's crazy. But that card is not in standard, so. Sound the bells. So there's currently, well, there's a spell that's rotating. It's a 1-mana +1/+2 spell. Same thing as this. But obviously you can't repeat it. And it saw no play. So for double the mana, you can repeat this as many times as you want. It's really slow. This card is really slow. Is it good enough? I don't think so. I think it's a crazy arena card. Like you want to run this in aggressive Paladin deck. It's too slow for an aggressive Paladin deck. 4 mana, give your minions +2 attack is shit. 6 mana, give your minion +3 attack is shit. The health is not that relevant. Quest Paladin. Yeah, Quest Paladin is always going to be shit, and this just does not make it worth it. And to finish your quest with this, it still takes too long. Nah, this is like a 1-star card at best. This is like a 1-star card. In Arena, it's nuts, but in the ladder, it's too slow. It's just too slow. 2 mana is just way too slow for this card to be good. Because, like, you play 2 Divine Strengths for 2 mana, you feel it's not even good. Like, no, this card is bad. It's a 1-star card. It's not going to see ladder play. I don't see it. I just don't see it. And then the last Paladin card is a spell called Rebuke. It's a common, and enemy spells cost 5 more next turn. So this is Lotheb without the body and 3 mana cheaper. This is a very toxic card if it's good. Very toxic. You're only going to run this in aggressive builds, because you're going to vomit the board and then Rebuke so they can't do anything about it. Do you want to run a 2-mana card, though, that doesn't do anything a lot of the time? Maybe. Maybe. Like, you play Call to Arms, you play a buff, and then you play this. It's pretty crazy. But it's too... I don't know. It's really clunky. Like, Loatheb is really good because it gives you a good-sized body with the effect. You don't feel bad playing it on curve, right? This, you can't just play it on 2. It has to be a specific situation. And then you're not developing anything, so I don't know. I think it's a 2-star card. I actually don't see it making the cut, but if it does, it's like really toxic and bad and frustrating. So, yeah. I'll give it a 2 stars. 2 stars. So overall, Paladin's not getting a hell of a lot. I think Paragon of Light is the best card they're getting. Everything else is pretty whatever. But Paladin doesn't need much right now. So I still think Paladin is the go-to aggro deck. Simply because Call to Arms is around. Call to Arms is just busted, so... Even if you don't have that great of cards other than that, Call to Arms is going to carry that class. So, I'd still say Paladin's going to be tier 1, tier 2 for sure. Even though they're not getting much. They're also not losing... I mean, Dude Paladin's losing a lot, but the Murloc Paladin's losing a lot. But people will figure out a way to make it work. It'll be fine. Alright, so that's 4 classes down. 5th one. Everyone knows this is my favorite class, Priest. So, Priest is literally losing everything going into this next expansion. Priest, as it stands with what they're losing, will be fucking garbage tier. Like, there will be nothing in Priest. Like, I'll just do a quick introduction into Priest here. This is what Priest is losing. And it's hilarious. Priest is losing Potion of Madness. Pint-sized potion. Cabal Talon Priest. Greater Healing Potion. Priest of the Feast. Shatterword Horror. Draconid Operative. Dragonfire Potion. And also, very important, Netherspite Historian. Bookworm. Barnes. Yasharj. Cabal Song Stealer. Like, fucking gutted. Priest is gutted. Every deck that is viable on ladder is gone. Everything. Combo Priest, Control Priest, whatever the fuck you want to call those Priest decks, they all run the same core, and that core is obliterated. They also effectively lose. They're even losing cards that are actually in rotation. Because of what they're losing, they also lose 2 cards that are relevant. They also lose Dustbreaker. You can't run Dustbreaker if you don't have any good dragons. And this is one of their best anti-aggro cards right now. If you don't have the dragon package to support this, you can't run the card. So they're actually losing Dustbreaker too. And they're also losing Twilight Acolyte. Again, if you don't have good enough dragons to support those cards, you lose those cards. It's just like the 2-mana 2/2 Epic and Paladin. Oh, if it has Divine Shield and Taunt, it's awesome. Well, guess what? There's no good dragons for Paladin. The card is crap. Same applies for Twilight Acolyte and Dustbreaker. You can't get, like, Netherspike going is a huge hit. Because you can't easily generate dragon synergy. So, like, you lose Dustbreaker, you lose Dragonfire, you lose Shadowword Horror, you're stuck with Holy Nova and Psychic Scream. And that's it for board clears. Good luck. So, as it stands, we're going to look at the new cards. Are these new cards going to make dragons good enough? Spoilers, no. So, Priest isn't, like, fucked, and it makes me hard thinking about it. Alright. So, now let's look at the Priest cards. So, Priest needs the most help out of any class to stay viable. As it stands, they're losing everything. Like, fucking everything they're losing. Alright. So, Priest is getting a 2-mana 2/1 common called Squashling. Echo, Battlecry, restore 2 health. So it's a 2-mana Voodoo Doctor. This is a 2-mana Voodoo Doctor. But you can repeat it. It's still shit. It's still shit. In Arena, really good. Any Echo card in Arena is nuts. Because any card that can equal 5 cards is nuts. But in Ladder, this is doing nothing for you. So it's a 1-star card. We have a 5-mana 5/8 Elemental, Quartz Elemental. Can't attack while damaged, so you're getting premium stats. You're getting +2 health on what the top 5-mana card used to be with Draconid Operative and Pit Fighter. But it can't attack if it's taken 1 piece of damage. It's too slow for an Inner Fire Priest. It's too slow for a Silence Priest. Don't see this card being anything. It's another 1-star card. Okay. It's just too slow. And the second it's just damaged once. Like, it's annoying. You have to heal it up. You're paying 2 mana or you're circling it. Like, it's clunky. It's not worth it. It's just too slow for, like, anything else. It's not good. Alright, here's one of the dragons. Can this dragon help priests? Because they need the dragons, right? This is a 7-mana 4/9 dragon. Nightscale Matriarch. Whenever a friendly minion is healed, summon a 3/3 whelp. So it's 7 mana, do nothing the turn it's played, and then you can get some 3/3s out of it. Yay! It's not good at all. Like, that's just a shit. Like, it's so slow. The reward is like nothing. There was a 2-mana 2/3. You heal up that minion to get it 2/2. It's too slow. Why in the hell is this playable? On turn 9, it's a 7-mana 7/12, which is still nothing crazy. You can do way more stuff for 9 mana. It's just way too slow. It's way too slow. So, no. This is like a 1-star card. So good. Fuck Priest. Alright. What else do we got? This is a 2-mana Priest spell, Divine Hymn. Restore 6 health to all friendly characters. I mean, there's a 2-mana Paladin spell that restores 6 health to one thing. So this card is, like, really crazy. But there's no deck that this really fits in right now. But it's super strong. It's, in theory, 2 mana heal for 42. No, 48. In theory, it's a 2 mana heal for 48. Which is crazy. But what are you really doing with this card right now? Like, I don't know. I honestly don't see a place for it in any deck. Because Priest isn't going to have one. Like, there's not going to be a Priest deck. What are you going to heal? You have nothing to heal because Priest has nothing to play. I mean, I'm gonna give it 3 stars even though I don't see it being played on ladder because there's no priest deck. But it's a very good card. It's super crazy power level compared to any other healing spell in the game. And believe it or not, priest struggles with healing. But yeah. It's a 3-star card, I'll give it that. It's actually pretty crappy in Arena though. We got another priest spell. This is a 5-mana rare spell called Holy Water. Deal 4 damage to a minion. If that kills it, add a copy of it to your hand. So I like to compare this card to Convert. This is an old... There was a spell, it was 2 mana. It was 2 mana, and then you could copy any minion from your opponent and add a copy of it to your hand. That card never saw any play. So you're coupling that effect with a situational removal that's expensive. 5 mana, deal 4 damage is terrible. And you have to kill said minion. And the minion needs to be worth actually putting in your hand. And then you have to pay the mana to play said minion. It's just bad. It's bad. It's like 1 star at best, maybe 0. It's like a 1-star card. Add Lord Goffrey to your hand. Okay, you add Lord Goffrey to your hand. What are you clearing with Lord Goffrey? It's not really, like... Lord Goffrey's not great in the mirror. No, it's just... It's a 1-star card. It's expensive removal for an effect that's typically not really that good. Yeah, it's a 1-star card. Oh, here is Chameleos. This is the Priest Legendary. It's a 1-mana 1/1. Each turn this is in your hand, transform it into a card your opponent is holding. This has to be the most overblown and overrated card I have seen by the Reddit community and everyone I have talked to. This card is garbage. This card is not good. I've heard the argument you're getting information on your opponent's hand. If you play Hearthstone at a top level, it is irrelevant. You know what's in your opponent's hand. Everyone plays the same decks. You can easily figure out what's in their hand based on how they've played. That's what puts the top players on where they are. Because they know what their opponent is already holding. So the information argument, to me, is irrelevant. So what else is this card doing for you? It's getting you a random card that is likely not going to synergize with your deck. It is useless against aggro, and oftentimes it's useless against a combo control card deck because their combo, they have other cards to support their combo and their control. So it's a dead card most times. Information is not worth it, and the card you might copy is almost always shit or not worth playing. I think this card is fucking useless. I think it is a meme at best. I would never run this card. I think it is bad. It is better than Shifter Xeris, sure, but Shifter Xeris was pure shit. This card gives you information you do not need. You do not need that information. Trust me. I have played Hearthstone for years. I have played it at the highest level of Legend Ladder. I have never wanted a card that would tell me what one card in my opponent's hand is. That is not that helpful. Trust me. You play around stuff based on math. It's not that hard. You don't need to gimp your deck by running something like this. It's a terrible top deck. It's terrible against aggro. It's bad. It is bad. I'm giving it 1 star. Not even giving it 2. It's a 1-star card. It's a meme card. People are overvaluing and overblowing this card beyond belief. Just give you Gul'dan, and then you get no demon. Cool. I mean, you get a new hero power. That's nice. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. This is a 1-star card. It's the most overblown and overrated card so far. I think it's garbage. If you think you need that information, you just need to get better at Hearthstone. You need to play more. You'll figure it out eventually, trust me. Have you not seen me play ladder and call every card my opponent plays almost every game? It's not that difficult. I think it's just bad. This is the other Priest Legendary, Lady in White. It's a 6 mana 5/5. Battlecry casts Inner Fire on every minion in your deck. So you need to gimp your deck. You need to run only high health minions. This card is only good on curve. If you don't play this card on curve, it is useless. If you play it on curve, it's still not that good. Because typically when you cast Inner Fire on stuff, you want to cast Inner Fire on stuff you've Divine Spirited. Just it having high health alone is usually not good enough. You need to buff it. This is another 1-star card. It is so draw dependent, and even drawing it in the right order is bad. It's just a 1-star card. 1 star. That's it. I don't even think it's not even a 2-star card. By the way, one thing that I want to see a highlight reel. This is about Chameleos. Even this will only happen in the first week because nobody's going to play this card outside of the first week once they realize it's just a wasted card in your deck. What I want to see is somebody having Chameleos in their hand, and then the next turn it turns into a Chameleos, and then turning into a Chameleos, and then turning into a Chameleos, and then turning into a Chameleos. That'd be so fucking funny if that actually ever happens. Because in theory, this could turn into a Chameleos every single turn. If your opponent is also holding a Chameleos, and their Chameleos is copying your Chameleos. It'd be the most stupid thing ever. I hope that happens. Alright. Coffin Crasher is a 6 mana rare, 6 mana 6/5. Death Rattle, summon a Death Rattle minion from your hand. So there's not currently that many good Death Rattles out there. There's Obsidian Statue. There's Cairn. Ugh. And the Death Rattle has to be in your hand, and that's significant. If you play it and you're not holding said Death Rattle, it's bad. And also you're playing it and you're doing nothing. It's 6 mana, do nothing, right? There's no easy way for Priest to kill this off fast. The fastest way you could kill it off is deathing it or cubing it. And you need to be holding Obsidian Statue and not the other Coffin Crasher or some shit, right? Like, it's really clunky. It could be very powerful, but overall, it's probably too clunky and slow. But it is a good card. It could be very powerful. I just don't see the current... There's not enough Death Rattles to make it worth it. I think it's like a 2 or 3 star card. I don't know if it's quite a 3-star card. Like, you're only wanting to hit Obsidian, really, with this. There's just not enough Death Rattles to support it. And N'Zoth is rotating, which hurts this a lot, too. Because N'Zoth would be insane with this kind of card, right? I'm going to give it a 2. I don't think it's going to be good enough for ladder. There's not enough Death Rattles to support it. I really don't see it. And actually, you can't really run this with the cube. Because they would pull the cube out of your hand. So you can't even play this with cubes. Because if they kill it while you're holding a cube, they just pull your cube. And that's really bad for you. I don't see it. I don't see it. It's a 2-star card. I think it could potentially be powerful. If there's more Death Rattle, good Death Rattles that are printed, then it becomes much better. But as it stands, there's just not enough Death Rattles. Good enough Death Rattles. You need to pull a big Death Rattle to make this worth running. And there's only really one good big Death Rattle, which is Obsidian Statue. Cairn's not even really good enough. Which is crazy, but yeah. I'll give it a 2 stars. So then we have a 3-mana epic spell, Vivid Nightmare. Choose a friendly minion. Summon a copy of it with 1 health remaining. So there's some shenanigans you can do with this card. You can copy a big taunt, you could like, okay, you can play Radiant Elemental, Stormwind Knight, buff the crap out of it, Inner Fire, go face, and then copy the Stormwind, and then it goes face and you kill your opponent. That could be pretty strong, right? But it's really hard to pull off. I see this only really working with like a charge combo. I don't even think it's good enough for like a Death Rattle combo. But there is some insane strategies you can do with this, with Inner Fire charge stuff. Like Radiant Elemental, Stormwind Knight, you know what I mean? If you have a statue, use this on the statue that will water the copy. If you have the mana to do all that, yeah, have fun. Good luck. Do that against an aggro deck, you know what I mean? Like, you need to be able... Any deck you build needs to be able to contest with aggro. And you can't run terrible greedy cards, you know? There is a lot of combo potential with this card, but it's very clunky as it stands. I don't see it. I don't see it, but it's there's potential with this card. I think it's a two-star card. But it's a cool card. It's a decent card. As more cards are introduced, this card will get a lot better. The more combo potentials are out there. But as it stands, I think it's like a 2-star card. The combos out there aren't good enough. Like Velen, Mind Blast type of stuff. I don't know. You're definitely going to combo with Radiant Elementals, though. Your combo would involve Radiance for sure. Because then you can get this down to 2 or 1 cost. And then, like, cycle visions and all sorts of stuff. There's potential for it, but I think it's 2-star at the moment. And then the last Priest card. 5 mana Epic Beast. 5 mana 4/4. If your deck only has odd cost cards, double the health of your other minions. Yeah, this card is fucking garbage. It's just bad. Again, like, you don't want to gimp your deck. Everything I've seen from odd and even cost mechanics are really weak. This is a 0-star card. The Battle Cry's not even good. The Battle Cry's not even good. You wouldn't even gimp your deck for this. Even if odd cost cards were a thing, you probably wouldn't run this card. Yeah, it's a 0 stars. It's bad. So overall, Priest is getting basically nothing. In my opinion, the best card is Coffin Crasher. I don't see one single card here that is really going to be a good ladder card. I didn't give a single card a 3-star. No, I gave this card. This card is my only 3-star card. Everything else is 2 or less. Priest is going to be dumpster tier. You're not going to see Priest on ladder. Priest is fucking dead. They've lost everything, including cards that are even in the standard rotation. They've lost Operative, they've lost Netherspite, Raza Priest was nerfed, they've lost Dustbreaker, they've lost Twilight Acolyte, they've lost literally everything. So I think Priest is going to be in an extremely rough spot, and I, for one, could not be happier. To all of you Priest players, go fuck yourself. You go play Wild, because you're not playing Priest in Standard anymore. At least for a bit. Chameleos is a 1-star card. It's bad. I don't care. You'll see. You will all see. You will all see. Off to Rogue. Rogue. We'll start with Cutthroat Buccaneer. He is a 3-mana 2/4 pirate. Combo. Give your weapon +1 attack. So this is like the replacement for Naga Corsair or Squidface for Kingsbane Rogue. But it's clunkier, the stats suck. All around, just not a good card. Even in the Kingsbane deck, it's going to be annoying. I mean, Kingsbane's basically dead without Cold Light anyways. And it's losing Corsair and Squidface. I don't see it. This is a 1-star card. Yeah, it's just... I mean, you'll run this in your Kingsbane Rogue, sure. But it's not good enough. We have Blink Fox, which is a reprint. 3 mana, 3/3 beast. Battlecry, add a random card to your hand from your opponent's class. This is literally a reprint of Swashbuckler, but it's not a pirate, and it has +2 on every mana cost, a mana cost in attack and health. I mean, this is just a reprint, so we already know what the kind of card is, right? Swashbuckler saw lots of play. It even saw play without patches. It saw play, like, Pavel won World Championships with a Miracle Rogue list that ran Swashbuckler before patches was even a thing. So Swashbuckler was like a 4-star card. It was a 4 3-star card. Blink Fox is worse than Swashbuckler because it's more expensive. The body is pretty crappy. It's whatever. It's 3 mana draw card, which is fine. You get potentially a high roll card, which is fine. So overall, this card's pretty good. It's like 3-star card, 4-star card. I'll give it... In Rogue, it's probably a 4-star card, because Rogue is running pretty bad. And you want 3 drops in Rogue. You want a Dagger on 2, you want to play a 3. Blink Fox, it's pretty good to play on 3 if you don't want to play SI Agent. So, yeah, it's like a 4-star card. But super lazy and boring. Then we have an 8 mana legendary here, Test Greymane. 8 mana 6/6, Battlecry, replay every card from another class you have played this game, targets chosen randomly. There's not a lot of good random card generators from what I've seen. It's not bad, like, say you're facing a mage and you copied a water elemental and you copied a couple secrets. Then you play this and you get a free water elemental and a couple of secrets. And a 6/6 body. It's not that bad. It's not great. It's just not good enough. There's just not enough random shit to make this worth it. And if you're playing against another rogue, it's a dead card. So 1 in 9 matchups. Sorry, 1 in 8 matchups. Because you're not going to face Priest. So you don't have to worry about facing a Priest. So, but against another rogue, it does nothing. I don't know. It's like a 1-star card. It's kind of memey. It could be fun, but I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I'll give this guy a 1. Here's another card generator, right? 2 mana rare spell, Pickpocket. Echo, add a random card to your hand from your opponent's class. This is just too slow. It's so expensive. 2 mana, draw a random card is not good. Terrible, right? 4 mana, draw 2 random cards. Not good. 6 mana, draw 3 random cards. It's okay. 8 mana, draw 4 random cards. It's just bad. Like, it's bad. It's just bad. It's too expensive. Like, you don't want to prep this shit. It's not good in Miracle. Yeah, it's just bad. It's another 1-star card, unfortunately. I just don't see it. It's too expensive. And now we got Mystery. This is what you want to play it for, right? 4 mana, 3/5. Whenever you play an Echo card, gain +1/+1. So stat line is 1 attack less than the Yeti, but you combo this a couple times. It gets pretty big, pretty fast, has a lot of health. Again, the Echo cards are too expensive to really make this work too well. Like the Echo cards in Rogue, you have Pickpocket, you have Cheap Shot, and the Legendary, which we'll get to, which are all not terrific. Neutrals, there's not really any support for it. Honestly, you'd rather just play Questing Adventure and play a bunch of cheap cards, and you're going to build it a lot faster than you build this, even though this starts off with more stats. I honestly think this is just a way worse Questing Adventurer. It's another 1-star card. And then Rogue is getting another weapon. This is a 4-mana 2/2 weapon, Spectral Cutlass, terrible stats. Has lifesteal, which is nice for Rogue to get some healing. Whenever you play a card from another class, gain +1 durability. So you need to be playing garbage card generators. And you need to be playing against not a rogue, because if you're playing against a rogue, you can never gain durability. You need to buff this to make it worth it. You're just going to want to play Kingsbane. You'd rather just buff a Kingsbane than this piece of shit. This is a 0-star card. This card is fucking awful. Fucking trash. Absolute trash. We have another pirate. This one is Cursed Castaway. 6 mana 5/3 rush. Death Rattle. Draw a combo card from your deck. So this is like 6 mana removal draw card. There's just so many better removal options in Rogue. And this is so expensive, and you're drawing a specific card. Again, another really weak Rogue card. Like, it's so expensive for removal. And to draw you just draw one card? It's just no. Just no. It's another 1-star card. Rogue is just getting garbage, right? Now we have Cheap Shot. This is deal 2 damage to a minion. So Backstab is deal 2 damage to an undamaged minion. So for 2 more mana, you get an unconditional deal 2 damage to a minion. And you can repeat it as many times as you want that turn. This card is definitely better than the random card generator. And it can be okay with the Auctioneer. This card's alright. It's not terrible, but it's probably not that good. It's just so expensive, right? But it can work okay maybe with prep. Like, I could see a good miracle turn with this card. Like, you play Auctioneer, prep, Cheap Shot, and then Cheap Coin, even that, I don't know. It's just better than the other Rogue cards, so I'll give it a 2. But it's still pretty bad. It's still pretty bad. Wanted. 4 mana epic Rogue spell. Deal 3 damage for 4 mana. Oh boy. 3 whole damage for 4 mana. Crazy. If that kills it, add a coin to your hand. So not only is the damage shit, but you absolutely have to kill what you kill. And you get a whole coin out of it. Holy fuck. If this card was 3 mana, I think it's okay. But at 4 mana, this is so overcosted. Like, coins in Rogue are very valuable. Coins are great. But for 4 mana to deal 3 damage and just get a coin is so bad. Like, you can't even Auctioneer prep this. You need another mana. Like, I don't know why this isn't 3 mana. I think at 3 mana, this card is alright. You play Auctioneer, prep, Wanted, then you get another coin and then you cycle. You can't even do that. This is a really bad card. And I love Rogue. I love Miracle Rogue, and I love Rogue. I don't want Rogue to get only bad cards, so this sucks. But this is another, like, 1-star card. I don't think it's 0. It's close, but it's a 1-star card. It's another bad Rogue card. Holy shit. I mean, Rogue always finds a way, right? And lastly, we have the other Rogue Legendary, Face Collector. It's a 3 mana 2/2. It echoes and battle cry, add a random legendary minion to your hand. I mean, in Quest Rogue, this is too slow. Like, you can't even complete the quest in 1 turn with this card for 10 mana. So it makes it pretty damn slow. The value is pretty good. Getting random legendary minions on average are kind of bad, but it's good value. But it's just too expensive and too slow. But it's a fun card. I want to try it. It's a really good arena card. Like, late in the game, the value you get off of this is insane. You're going to feel pretty good drafting this in arena. Even as like a 3 mana 2/2 draw get a random legendary in your hand is fine. And you can do a lot better than that in Arena. But a ladder card, I don't know, it's just really slow. But it's a cool card. I like the design. The artwork's really cool. Overall, I like it. I'll give it a 2 stars, but I don't see it being a ladder card. So, honestly, this whole rogue set, I don't see a single playable card on ladder. Hopefully I'm wrong. But, like, Cheap Shot and the Legendary are, like, the best cards, and they're not good. They're really not good. And Rogue isn't in a great spot right now. They've got... The Tempo Rogue got absolutely gutted with the latest nerfs. Oh yeah, Blink Fox is a ladder card. I forgot, yeah. That is a 3-star... Actually, 4-star. It's a 3 or 4-star card. Blink Fox is a good card. Forgot, yeah. They're getting one good card. One good card. But yeah, the rest are just... bad. And the sad thing is that Blink Fox is the only good card, and it's just a reprint. It's not like it's new or fun. It's literally a reprint of Swashbuckler. So that's pretty lame, right? The best card that at least I think they printed for Rogue is a reprint. So that's kind of sad. Alright, on to Shaman, as Raven and Sottle like to say. We have a 1-mana spell, Blazing Invocation. It discovers a Battlecry minion, which works with the new Shaman Legendary, which we'll talk about later. Would you want to run this with that Legendary? I'd probably not. There's a lot of bad Battlecries out there, and even like the neutral, the non-neutral, the Shaman cards that you're going to get the bonus on, a lot of them are... I mean, there's some that are good. Like Burlock is actually not bad. Burlock isn't bad. But you can get Fire Elemental, which is pretty good. You can get some other... Like, the healing stuff is pretty good. Like the 3-mana 2/4 Elemental that heals. The 4-mana 3/6 that heals. And I think you can also get the Legendary, right? You can get Shudderwalk, which is pretty cool. So maybe it's worth it, because the neutral... The Shaman battle cries are pretty strong. But there are bad ones too, right? Like... We'll get to it, but Totem Cruncher is probably pretty bad. This card is fucking awful. You won't even be able to use it. Like, you'll get this offered to you, and you won't even be able to use it. This one's okay. So there are some bad ones. You can actually get the Death Knight. There's a lot of interesting ones. So maybe it's worth running, because there's a lot of decent Shaman battle cries, and you're gonna be offered Shaman cards more often than neutrals. So maybe it's worth it. We'll see. There's some decent options. So I think it's honestly, I could see it being run. I could see it being run, because 1-mana draw card, it's pretty good. It's seen play before in other classes. I'll give it a 3. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Then we have Zap. Zap. I just think of Simpsons with the... I can't remember what the gay character's name is, but Homer gets freaked out by him. He's Zap. Zap. I like it. It's a 0-mana Shaman spell. So this is Backstab, but without the condition of a minion being damaged. But you get Overloaded 1, which really sucks. So the tempo you gain out of using that 0-mana removal is kind of negated by the Overload. So I don't know. It's like an okay card. 0-mana spells historically have been pretty good, except not the Shaman ones. Like, the Shaman does have other 0-mana spells. Ancestral Healing and Totemic Might, both of which have seen basically no play. Totemic Might saw a tiny bit of play in a token Shaman build that used the Witch back in the day, but overall, not much. Zap is better than those two spells, by far, for sure. This card might just be a good card to get off of Hagatha, honestly. I think it's an okay card. I don't think it's good enough for ladder. The Overload kills it for me. Like, the Overload is a big deal. I really think the Overload hurts it a lot. But, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I'm overvaluing the Overload. But, I'll give it a 2-star. I think it's just not quite good enough. But 0-mana removal is pretty good. So, we'll see. We'll see. Honestly, actually, you know what? I'm going to give it 3 stars. I think it could see some play. 0 mana, deal 2 damage is very, very strong. I think I'm overvaluing the impact of the overload. I really think I am. I'm going to give it a 3. I'll give it 3s. I think I'll see some ladder play. I really do. It's not bad. I mean, it can work with this, but it's probably too clunky. But Auctioneer could be a thing, right? It's not bad. I'll give it a 3. I think I'll see some ladder play. Now we have Ghostlight Angler. This is a 2 mana 2/2 Murloc, and it's an Echo ability, so you can play it as many times as you have mana that turn. There's not really a build for Murloc with Shaman right now. Quest Shaman has never been that good. It's been okay, but not that good, not competitive. It's one of the worst Echo cards I've seen, actually, because the stat line sucks. There's no effect on it. It's just a Murloc. It's good in Arena. Any Echo card is good in Arena. Trust me, Echo is like the new... Like, to me, Echo is the new Inspire. They're too expensive to be good for ladder, but they're absolutely insane value in Arena. So, I think this is like a 1-star card in ladder, but you'll see lots of this in Arena. You'll feel fine picking it. But, yeah, it's a 1-star card. It's not worth running with, like, playing this for the Death Knight at all. It's not. Then you have Earthern Might is a 2 mana rare spell. Give a minion +2/+2, which is like average buff. +3/+3 would be pretty nuts. +2/+2 is okay. If said minion is an elemental, add a random elemental to your hand. There are a lot of bad elementals. The fact that it's a random one, you can get a lot of shit. And a +2/+2 buff is not great. So if you don't get said elemental, this is terrible. And if you get the elemental, a lot of the times that elemental is bad. So overall, I think this card's pretty weak. Like, it's very weak. I would give this like a 1-star. The buff isn't good enough, and a random elemental typically is not good enough. There's just a lot of bad elementals. Like, there's some good ones, but on average, they're bad. And this is the card everybody wants to play now. Shudderwalk. 9 mana, 6/6. Battlecry. Repeat all other Battlecries from cards you played this game. This card is really fucking rad. I don't know if it's going to be good enough, but it's fucking cool, man. Like, thank goodness Jades aren't a thing, because this card with Jades is batshit crazy. But even as it stands, most Battlecries are pretty decent for you. You don't want to run Fire Elemental and stuff like this with that, because the targets are chosen randomly. But you can refill your hand and get a bunch of shit on board. It's pretty damn good. I could see it seeing some play, because Battlecries are very powerful. Like, it works with your Death Knight even. It get an AoE to all minions. There's lots of good stuff that can happen. So, I don't know. I don't know if it's good enough, but it's really cool. And it works with, like, Grumble, right? Like, you play this, and then you get all your shit grumbled, and then you can play Shudderwalk again, and there's some crazy shit. In Wild, I actually will try a Wild Jade deck with this card as a refill. It probably won't be good enough, because Wild is too degenerate, but with Jades, the card could be really crazy. So, I'll give it a 3. I don't think it's a 4-star, but I think there is some ladder play capability of it. I just don't know if it's strong enough. Yeah. I'll give it a 3. Maybe it could be a 4. We'll see. I'll go with 3. Chameleos this. Now we have Totem Cruncher. This is a 4-mana epic beast. 2/3 in stats. Battlecry, destroy your totems. Gain +2/+2 for each destroyed. So if you hit 1 totem, this is a 4-mana 4/5 taunt, which is pretty good. If you hit 2 totems, it's 4-mana 6/7. But then you're destroying your totems, which you want for a reason. If you're destroying totems, it's not really that good for you, to be honest. Like, if you're able to get a board where this card is good, then you just want to play Bloodlust. Like, if you got a bunch of totems and you're going to make this big, then you're already winning the board. Why do you want to go behind on board and lose to single removal or silence? This card's fucking terrible. Like, you need to be winning the board for this card to be good, and if you're winning the board, then why do you want to not win the board anymore? Yeah, I think this is actually a 0-star card. It's so bad against silence. It's so bad with destroying your own deck. Or your own board. No, this is 0. This is a terrible card. But the artwork's pretty cool. Artwork's like a 4. We have Bogshaper as a 7-mana 4/8 elemental. It's an epic. Whenever you cast a spell, draw a minion from your deck. So the new 0-mana Zap spell works pretty well with this. It's very expensive, but it's very likely to stick around. It's got a lot of health. It's a Priest Worst Nightmare, but Priest is no longer a class, so you don't have to worry about that. It's probably too expensive and clunky. I think you'd honestly rather just run Auctioneer if you're ever going to run a card like this. Because Auctioneer, you just keep drawing cards, and that's going to include minions and spells. It's like, yeah, this is like a 1-star card. It's too expensive, too clunky, and the effect is not worth it. But I like the card, it's cool. I'll give it 1. I'll give her a 1. Then we got Hagatha the Witch. Battlecry, deal 3 damage to all minions, that includes your own. So it's not a bad AoE, it's pretty expensive for 8 mana, and then the hero power is for every minion you play, gain a random spell, which can be potentially pretty powerful. A lot of shaman spells are fucking trash, but if you play enough minions, you're going to get some good ones. It's pretty good value. You no longer can generate totems, which is kind of a deal. It's like one of the things when I play Thrall, I always feel bad because you can't get totems, and totems can be very good. So you lose that. But, I mean, this works well with the new Legendary. The value you can get out of it is insane. I think it's a decent card. It's pretty good. Every hero card has seen some play, and I don't see this one being any different. I don't think it's super OP or anything, but I do think it will see some ladder play in some shaman decks, so I'll give it a 3. It's a good card. I don't see it as something crazy, though. So, yeah, I'll give it a 3. Then we have Witch's Apprentice. This is a 1-mana 0/1 taunt. So it can stall some damage early game. In Battlecry, add a random shaman spell to your hand. Again, like I said earlier, shaman spells are on average a lot worse than basically any other class. So you're oftentimes going to add a random spell that does nothing to your hand. And this effectively does very little on board. It has no damage to it. That is a big deal. The other random spell generators all been 1/1s, and that 1 damage is a ping and very valuable. I don't know if it's good enough to play. Again, it's good with the Legendary, because it's more value for your Legendary later. I don't know. I'm not willing to say this is a 2-star card. Anything lower than a 2, because every single random spell generating minion has seen play. Every single one. That costs 1 mana. This one very well could, too. So, I'll give it a 3. It's not bad. It's not great. It can soak up some damage, and in some cases soak up a lot. You never know. I'll give it a 3. I think it could see some play. 1 mana draw card can be very powerful. But Shaman, yeah. Shaman's not going to be super strong. They're losing a lot. And lastly, we have Merc Spark Eel, which is a 2-mana rare beast with 2/3 Battlecry. If your deck has only even cost cards, deal 2 damage. Well, if you can't run Shudderwalk, why are you going to play Shaman? You can't even run Shudderwalk. And this doesn't even kill a lot of stuff early game. Even early game, this card doesn't kill a lot of stuff. It doesn't kill Northshire Cleric. It doesn't kill Mana Worm. It doesn't kill the 1/1 taunt and paladin that has Divine Shield. It's only really good against like Direwolf Dog or Knife Juggler. And do you want to gimp your entire deck to have this effect? No. And if you're only running even cost cards, that means you have a 1 mana totem, which is not really that good. Fucking trash. It's 0 stars. So overall, Shaman's getting some decent stuff. There's some... This card has insane high potential. I don't think it's that good, because Shaman I don't think is going to be that good. But this card could easily be a 5-star card down the road. For sure. But, as it stands, I don't think Shaman is super powerful to support this card. So it's more like a 3. But I think this card's pretty good. I think Zap is pretty good. I think this Blazing Invocation is pretty good. And I think Hagatha and Witch's Apprentice are pretty good. They're getting some solid cards. So I think Shaman will be in an okay spot. I think you'll be able to, like, tier 2 or 3. There'll be some Shaman decks. There'll be some viable stuff. They're losing all the Jade stuff, though, which hurts a lot. They're losing Maelstrom Portal, which hurts a lot. And they're losing Devolve, which hurts a lot. So there's a lot of cards they're losing, but they're getting some good stuff. Is it going to be enough? I don't know. We'll see. But a lot of classes are losing a lot more than Shaman and gaining a lot less. So I think Shaman could be okay. Shaman looks like it'll be a lot of fun, which is really cool. So I hope Shaman is viable, because these cards look like a lot of fun to play. So hopefully Shaman's good. And I like Shaman. I hated the Shaman Stone days of just aggro Shaman and mid-range Shaman is just Tunnel Shrog. Good God, enough of that crap. But overall, I like Shaman, every other archetype of Shaman. So we'll see. We'll see. Cool stuff overall. Alright, we got 2 classes left. Warlock. So Warlock's going into a really rough spot going ahead. Currently, Q-Block is losing Mistress of Mixtures and N'Zoth, which effectively kills the deck. So Warlock needs a lot of help. Right? Oh, wait. Never mind. Warlock is losing fucking nothing, and it's going to be very scary. So, let's see what Warlock gets on top of what's already there. Because Warlock is going to be tier... Like, before I finish this, without adding a single card to what Warlock has already, they're going to be tier 1. Warlock is going to be tier 1 without a single new card. Okay? Because Q-Block and Control Lock are still going to be very good. Now, let's see what they get on top of what they already have. Witchwood Imp is a 1-mana demon. It's got 1/1, so garbage stats. It has stealth. And it has a death rattle of give a random friendly minion +2 health. I mean, that effect is pretty shit. I'd rather just play Blood Imp, a 0/1 that keeps giving +1 health every turn. I'd rather just play Blood Imp than this. Yeah, this is like a 1-star card. It's not even a good arena card, honestly. It's just bad. Yeah, 1-star card. So it's not like... This is not going to be the thing that helps Zoo get back to being something. Then we have Ratcatcher. It's 3-mana epic, 2/2, rush, battlecry. Destroy a friendly minion and gain its attack and health. So this is exactly like... what was it called? This is a card that's currently in Standard, which is 3-mana Void Terror. It's like Void Terror. Void Terror has the exact same battlecry. And it gains attack and health. But this has rush, so not only do you get to destroy something, you also get to trade up into something, which is really nice. This would be good with, like, eggs. I know some people have said, oh, this card could be really good in Q-Block. I have played enough Q-Block to know that one of the problems Q-Block definitely does not have is activators. Like, Dark Pact is so much better in this card than this card in that deck. You're not worried about getting another body that rushes. And this is expensive. This is 3 mana. When you have Dark Pact, you can play your Lackey and Cube on 6 and do it. For this to work, you need 8 mana. It's very expensive. So if you're thinking this is good for Cube Lock or Control Lock, it's not. It's too expensive. It's not. It doesn't really synergize with what that deck wants to do. I could see why you would think that, because it destroys something. But honestly, this is a card that doesn't really fit that archetype. That said, it would be really good, very strong in Zoo, and a Zoo deck that runs other like egg cards, like Devilsaur Egg, or back in the day, Nerubian Egg. It'd be very good with that. But there's not a lot of good egg type cards in Zoo. So, it's a very strong Zoo card. It just needs the right cards to hit. And I don't really see that. I don't see a lot of good cards for this to hit in Zoo. So, as it stands, it's like a really good card. I just don't see a place for it in any deck right now. Like, you need more than Devilsaur Egg for this to be good. Like, you need more than one target. Otherwise, Pedordax would have been a good Warlock card a long time ago. There's that Rivenex Pedordax, or Raven Pedordax, or whatever. That was a 4-mana 4/4 that would destroy something and adapt twice. That card is really good. It just doesn't have a deck to fit in, because there's not enough good eggs, and there still aren't. So I think it's going to have the same problem as that card. It's a very good card that doesn't have a home. So I'm going to give it a 2-star card, a 2-star rating, but I think it's very good. I just don't think it's going to be good enough for ladder because there's no support for it, in my opinion. So it's a good card that is not good because there's just nothing for it to work with right now. But if they print just a couple eggs or a couple decent things for it to hit, this card is like a 4-star card. It's very good. It just doesn't exist. In Wild, though, I think Zoo and Wild should try this out. There's enough good targets in Wild. Nerubian Egg, Devilsaur Egg. There's some other stuff you could probably try. It's probably good enough for Wild, but because this curves into you play Nerubian Egg on 2, you play this on 3. It's really strong. You get a 2-mana 2/6 rush and a 4/4. That's good. That's very good. So maybe give this a shot in a Zoo deck in Wild, but for Standard, I don't see it. I just don't see it. Now we have Fiendish Cycle. This is a 4-mana Warlock spell, summon 4 1/1 imps. It's just fucking garbage. This is 0 stars. This is a reprint of Summon the Finishers, or Call 'em the Finishers, which is a shaman spell, is a 4-mana summon 1/1 Murlocs. This is a 0-star card. There's no synergy with this really in Warlock right now. That 4-mana 5/4, give your minions demons +1/+1 are gone. I mean, in Wild this is terrible. Just play Implosion, and 1/3 of the time you get this +4 damage. And even in Wild, Implosion is not good enough. So this is a worse Implosion, and it still doesn't even see play in Wild. This card is fucking awful. And it's a reprint. It's super lazy, but the artwork's cool. But 0 stars. Now we have a 1-mana spell for Warlock called Dark Possession. It's a rare. Deal 2 damage to a friendly character, discover a minion. So you can damage one of your own minions, or you could damage your own face. And so this synergizes with like Spellstone if you hit your own face, and some other cards. There's a lot of bad demons, unfortunately. There are a lot of bad demons. I guess you could even hit a Lackey with this. But the problem is, it's bad in Q-Block, and it's not good in Q-Block, and it's not good in Control Lock. It's maybe in Control Lock, maybe. But this is not good in Q-Block and Control Lock either. The reason being is the average demon you discover is bad. There are a lot of bad demons. And then that demon you get, you don't really want... If you don't get a good demon, you don't want to play it. Because then it screws up your Gul'dan. So, like, it's not what you want in an activator. Like, the reason The reason the activator of, what the hell is it called? The 1 mana heal for 8 is really good. Because it heals you for 8 and it kills your minion. Like, the healing is insane. That people undervalue that. Like, that card is nuts because not only do you destroy your own minion and get a crazy demon, but you heal. You get a heal bot out of it. That's really good in Warlock where you need to heal. This damages yourself or your minion and you get a crappy demon on average. You don't, like, it's not that hard to activate your lackey. You don't need more activators. It's a 2/2. It's going to die to anything on board. Or a Defile. Or your Pact. Like, you don't need this, too. It just doesn't work. I don't see what deck this plays into. It's an okay card. It's like a 2-star card. But the average demon is not good enough, and you don't need this in a Q-block deck. Trust me, it's not worth it just to hit a lackey. It's not. I think it's a 2-star card. It's not good enough for ladder. It's just whatever. It's a good, okay arena card. Now we have 2 mana rare spell, Curse of Weakness. It has Echo, so you can play it as many times as you want per turn. Give all enemy minions a -2 attack until your next turn. So you can play this, you can get favorable trades, and then whatever survives does no damage to you or very little the next turn. So this could be potentially very powerful. You could even combo it with cards like Void Terror, although you don't really want, or was it Void Ripper? I can't remember. The 3 mana 3/3 that flips. But you don't want to really do that. Well, it fucks with your Gul'dan, but it's 1 demon, so maybe it's not that bad. But you can combo this with, yeah, Void Ripper and get favorable trades, nerf their boards so you can't take damage for a turn. This could be very strong. And even if you only hit it once, -2 attack is a big deal. I actually think it's very strong. It could, like, Warlock doesn't really need this card. Like, it doesn't really synergize well with anything they're doing. But maybe you run it just because of how strong it could potentially be. I don't know. It's not bad, and it's good in Arena. Allows you to favorably trade and save yourself some damage. Because the -2 attack not only lasts on your turn, but it also lasts on your opponent's next turn. So, I don't know. I'm going to give it a 3. I could see it seeing some ladder play. It's not the worst, honestly. It's an interesting card. It's interesting. And with Void Ripper, it's potentially absolutely crazy. I'll give it a 3. I don't think it's a 4-star card, but it's a 3-star for sure. -10 attack. Now we got Duskbat. 3 mana 2/4 beast. Battlecry. If your hero took damage this turn, summon 2 1/1 bats. So this card is like only good if you're playing it on curve and getting the bats, and that's basically impossible. I mean, yeah, life tap, it's a 5 mana 3/5, 3/6, or 4/6. It's fucking terrible. It's a 1-star card. Like, I don't think it's trash, like, complete garbage free shaman tier, but it's bad. And in Arena, it's bad because it's not that easy to pull off. It's just bad. Like, even if playing it, like, even if it didn't have the requirement, it's not that good. It's pretty good, but it's not crazy. You're just playing that that skeleton thing 1 mana earlier. The 4 mana 2/4 get 2 1/1 skeletons. But it's a bad arena card because it's hard to trigger without life tapping, and it's just bad in ladder. Like, okay, yeah, you have this thing sticking around and it procs it. Well, this thing costs 4, so you're still only playing this on turn 5, and that's a garbage on turn 5 play. We have Deathweb Spider. It's a 5 mana beast. It's an epic Battlecry, or 5 mana 4/6 Battlecry. If your hero took damage this turn, gain lifesteal. Again, hard to pull off. The effect is not really that great. The body isn't that great. It's another 1-star card. I don't see what the hell they're doing with this. Pretty weak. The body's okay, which is the only reason why I'll say it's not 0. In Arena, this is okay. 5 mana 4/6s historically have been alright in Arena. 1 star. And then you got Blood Witch, so it's a 4 mana, 3/6 rare, premium stats. At the start of your turn, deal 1 damage to your hero. So, like, yeah, it has synergy with these cards, right? Like, you can actually curve into this, right? You play a 4 mana Blood Witch, then you curve into Deathweb Spider, and you basically still do nothing, and it's garbage. This is another 1-star card. I just don't see it being worth it, man. Like, it's just not worth it. Artwork's pretty cool, though. I want to see this guy golden. But 1 star. Alright, now we got the 2 Warlock legendaries. So, we got Lord Godfrey, 7 mana, 4/4, Battlecry, deal 2 damage to all other minions. If any die, repeat this Battlecry. So, it's 5 mana more for a Defile with 1 extra attack with a 4/4 baddie attached. People are going crazy that this is like batshit nuts. How dare Blizzard give them even more powerful removal? Oh my god, the world is burning. Fuck Blizzard. I think this card's pretty strong. I don't think it's insane. It's likely going to clear the board when you play it, though. It's very likely. And then you have a 4/4 on an empty board, which is pretty nice. But I don't think it's like god tier crazy good. I just think it's very strong. Especially in what decks are going to be out there. There's going to be Cube Lock, there's going to be Control Warlock, and this fits right in there. So yeah, it's like a 4-star card. It's very strong. I think the problem is just Warlock's already really strong. Already has Defile, Hellfire, Twisting Nether. Do they need another board clear with a body? I don't know. Probably not, but you probably just throw it in there because it's really strong. So yeah, I think it's a 4-star card. I think it's quite good. It's probably amazing. Is it a god tier card? No. But it's pretty good. I'll give it a 4. But it's certainly going to see play. It's certainly going to see lots of play. And also, another thing to note is it's not a demon, which is another bonus for this card. Because you can play it with your lackey, and you can play it with all that stuff. Oh shit. By the way, when I mentioned this with Void Terror, it fucks your lackeys up, so you can't really run it with Void Terror. So, I'm going to give this a 2. I forgot about that. This is a 2-star card, not a 3-star card. My apologies. Okay. We now have the other Warlock legendary. Void Ripper, whatever, you know what I mean. 6 mana, 3/7, so absolutely terrible stats. Glinda Crowskin. But minions in your hand have Echo. So in Standard, this card is way too slow. Most of the cards you want to play in a slower Warlock deck are very expensive, and you're not going to be able to play multiple copies basically ever. Like, if you're not going to want this in the control deck, you're not going to want this in Cube Lock deck. It's really slow, really just not good. Maybe as like in a Zoo deck as a refill, it could be okay. I could see that. You play a bunch of 1-drops with this. Like, play this and like Flame Imps and like good 1-drops, right? It's okay, but it's very expensive and it's very clunky, and then minions are also, and it has to survive too, right? It has to survive. It's probably just too slow and clunky. But it's not exactly like a bad card. So in Standard, like, I think it's just like a 2-star card. I don't think it's going to see ladder play. I think it's it's like Wilfred Fizzlebang all over again. It's a card that's just too expensive with a payoff that is just not worth it. But in Wild, there is some potential for this card with Giants. You can play this, and then if you have like a 0-mana Molten Giant, then you play this, and you get a board full of Molten Giants. Right? Like, that's crazy. Or you have Naga out, and then you play this, and then you can play this, and then get an infinite board of Giants. So this could see play in Wild more than Standard, just because Molten Giant is the thing, and it's unnerfed in Wild. So, it'll be interesting. You could build like a handlock deck with this in Wild. Could be kind of crazy. Because you can play as many Molten Giants as you want. But Standard, I don't see it. It's like a 2-star card in Standard. It's like good, but not good enough. So Warlock's getting some decent stuff. Warlock's getting some pretty decent stuff. Lord Godfrey is very, very good, in my opinion. Curse of Weakness might be good enough, probably not, but... probably. And Ratcatcher's a good card, but again, doesn't really have a home. But Warlock's already in a great spot, so just getting a couple of tools is great for Warlock. Warlock will be tier 1 for sure. I do hope that they watch Warlock closely and nerf Q-Block quickly if it's out of control. I don't want 3 months. I do not want 3 months of Q-Block dominating ladder. If Q-Block is pretty quickly apparent that it's out of control after a couple weeks, please Blizzard, nerf it quickly. I'll even tell you how to do it. You make the 1 mana, first off, you make Lackey either 6 mana or unable to recruit a minion that costs more than 5, a demon that costs 5 mana, or you make Pact costs 2 mana. Those will nerf it significantly. Please listen to me. I beg of you. Alright. Last class cards to go over. Warrior. So Warriors right now is in a very rough spot. So let's see what Warrior gets. We have Rabid Worgen. 3 mana, 3/3 common, has Rush. In Standard, in Ladder, this is just not good enough. It's like an okay card. It's a pack filler type. It's just not good enough. It's like a 1-star card, maybe 2, probably 1. In Arena, this is pretty good. Pretty damn good in Arena. But Ladder, there's just better things to do for 3 mana. So, 1-star card in Standard, good Arena card. We then have Festerroot Hulk. It's a 5 mana rare, 2/7. After a friendly minion attacks, gain +1 attack. Really, again, you need to play this in the attack with a couple minions, and it goes to 4/7. This seems like a worse Gurbashi Berserker. Like, Gurbashi is a 2/7, gain 3 attack for every time you damage it. And Warlock doesn't have that much difficulty damaging their own minions. It's probably easier to damage your own minions playing Warrior than attacking with your own friendly minions. So, like, and Gurbashi's fucking terrible. So it's just another 1-star card. It's clunky, it's slow, and there's just better cards out there. We now have Town Crier. It's a 1 mana epic. 1/2. Battlecry, draw a rush minion from your deck. 1 mana draw card's great. 1/2 stats are fine. As long as there's a playable rush minion, period, this card is nuts. And I think there are some playable rush minions in Warrior. So I think this is a 4-star card. It's very good card. 1 mana draw card. There's nothing bad about this card. If there's literally no playable rush minions, then fine, this card's not great. But I think there is, and as a result, it's a 4-star card. We then have Deadly Arsenal, which is a 6 mana epic spell for Warrior. Reveal weapon from your deck. Deal its attack to all minions. So, the only weapon worth hitting currently for 6 mana in Warrior is Gorehowl. You would have to run 2 Gorehowls to make this even possibly consistent enough. And then you would not be able to run Woecleaver or Bloodraiser, which is kind of a problem because at least Bloodraiser is extremely powerful. So you can't run Bloodraiser with this card. It's fucking awful. Like, it's an AoE that Warrior probably doesn't even need, and you have Brawl. Brawl is very better than this in every way. So this is like 0 stars. Like, this is just fucking trash. So, and like, you run 2 Gorehowls. Oh shit, I drew them early. And then you're running 2 Gorehowls. You don't ever want to run 2 Gorehowls. It's just bad. It's a 0-star card. It's just bad. It's just bad. Like, I could not cement to you how bad that card is. It's one of the worst cards printed in this expansion. It's 0 stars. We have Woodcutter's Axe, the replacement for Fiery War Axe. It's a 2 mana 2/2 weapon. Death Rattle. I'm confused. They changed the mana. What? I don't know. Anyways. 2 mana 2/2 weapon. Death Rattle, give 2/1 to a random friendly brush minion. So I think this weapon is just fine. I think it's okay. Even, like, the Death Rattle is like a bonus. But Warrior needs some early game to remove stuff, and Woodcutter's Axe fits the ticket. It's worse than War Axe, of course, but 2 attack, kills a lot of stuff. Knife Juggler, Direwolf, helps you just ping away. I think it's fine. It'll see some play. Warrior needs an early weapon. This is it. It's not as good as War Axe, I know. War Axe was a 5-star card. This is more like a 3. Yeah, I think it's a 3-star card. I think you run it in Warrior. Like, it's just, like, yeah, just because it's good at C play in Warrior, most likely, doesn't make it, like, 5-star card, because it's going to be an auto-include, potentially. It's just not that powerful. But it's a good card to put for early game. War Axe was just nuts. It killed everything you could play by turn 2. Everything. This doesn't kill everything. There's a lot of stuff this card doesn't kill. But it helps a lot. And yeah, and if you get the Death Rattle off, that's great. That's really good. So, I'll give it a 4-star. I'll give it a 4-star because I think it'll be in most Warrior decks. And if the Death Rattle hits, then it's really good. So, yeah, I think it's a 4-star card. Black Howl Gunspire is one of the Warrior legendaries. It's a 7-mana 3/8. It cannot attack, but whenever this minion takes damage, deal 3 damage to random enemy. I cannot wait to play this card. I don't think this card is good, but this card will be fucking hilarious. First off, in Wild with Bouncing Blade, I want to play that. If you can somehow have an empty board and then just play this in Bouncing Blade, that is 24 damage to your opponent's face. If you have an empty board and you Bouncing Blade, that is 24 damage to your opponent's face. We're gonna do that one time. I am playing a Black Howl Gunspire Wild deck. That will be fun. Now, in Standard, you can utilize either Death Knight Hero Power, you can utilize Sudden Genesis, you can utilize the new Whirlwind card we'll be looking at, you can utilize Whirlwind, Blood Razor, you can get it out with your legendary weapon. There's lots of potential. I don't think the card is particularly strong enough, but the memes are very strong, and I appreciate a good meme. So I love this card. The artwork's cool. I want the animation to be badass. Like this, and I'm crafting this golden, by the way. If we don't open it golden, I'm crafting this shit golden. It better look spectacular. But yeah, we are 100% playing this deck on both Standard and Wild. We're gonna have fun with it. I don't think it's good enough for ladder, but I do think it's a 2-star card. It's close, depending on what they print going forward. But it's a rad fucking card. I really like it. It's super cool. The animation is cool. They showed in stream. Nice. I didn't watch the stream, so I will be spoiler-free until I see it. I'm not going to watch the stream, so I'm super psyched about this card. It's one of my most anticipated cards from this expansion. And I don't even think it's particularly great, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So, I'll give it a 2-star. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give it a 3-star card. I am so confident at my ability to build a tier 2 warrior deck that we're going to give it a 3-star because Zeddy Warrior will dominate the ladder. And you're going to see Black Hole Gunspire take us there. So 3-star card. 3-star. Fuck that. It's getting 3. You watch it. This will kill a bunch of Voidwalkers. But whatever. Alright. Darius Crowley is the other legendary. It is a 5-mana 4/4 rush minion. After this attacks and kills a minion, gain +2/+2. So this is one of the stronger rush minions for a warrior. I don't think it's that bad. So you play this, you trade it in, it survives, it gets buffed, it could potentially survive a bit more. It's a sticky minion that's good removal. And like, let's say you hit it with the Woodcutter Axe, then it's a 5-mana 6/5, and then it gets buffed. I don't know, it's not the worst. It's honestly not that bad. When I first saw it, I laughed, I thought it was shit. But the more I think about it, I think it's playable. And you could easily draw it with your Town Crier. I think it's a 3-star card. I think it might see some play. Like, I think a Tempo Warrior deck could be okay. So, I don't think it's the worst. I really don't. I think it could see some ladder play. It's good early it's good removal. It can buff. It's something your opponent has to deal with. It's not the worst. I'll give it a 3. I think it's okay. This Rush minion, on the other hand, Red Band Wasp, is a 2-mana 1/3 beast. Rush has +3 attack while damaged, so on 2 mana alone, it's really bad. Like, it doesn't kill basically anything. And then it's easily killed by whatever it traded into. It's just not good enough. I don't see it. It's a 1-star card. Like, it's too slow to be able to proc it and make it a 4/3, right? Like, it'll be a 4/2. It's just not good enough. Like, it's definitely worse than even Rabid Worgen. Like, by far. And, yeah. And even that card I don't think is good enough, so I'll give it a 1. We then have Warpath. It's a warrior common spell. 2 mana, Echo, deal 1 damage to all minions. You're asking why not 4/2, deal 1 damage versus Paladin? That's not good. That's not even good. Anyways. Warrior has historically always made very good use of whirlwind effects. And this is just another whirlwind. I cannot see Warrior not making use of this card. Whether it be with the new Legendary, which I will try, or just with like Acolyted Pain or Dead Man's Deck or whatever. It's very strong. It's good with everything that Warrior likes to do. It's not too expensive that you can get 5 whirlwinds in 1 turn. That's very valuable. It's just like you need a board clear on 8 mana. This is a 8 mana Flame Strike. That's very good. It's a very good card. Very good. This is like a 4-star card. Warrior will make use of this. It's a very good card. Like, just think about it. You're on 8 mana. You need a board clear. Like, Flame Strike's pretty good a mage card. And you can use this as a Flame Strike. I think it's really good. And Warrior loves their whirlwinds, so I see no way in which this card is bad. At very worst, it's a 3-star card. I think it's a 4. I think it's a 4-star card. Very good card. I like it. We will try it out. It might be a 5, honestly. I don't think it's meta-defining. Like, there's like 1 or 2 5-star cards printed in any given expansion and sometimes none. I don't think I've given a 5. I don't think I am giving a 5. But, like, Corridor Creeper was a 5-star card, right? Small Time Buccaneer. Basically, every 5-star card is a nerfed card. Well, we'll see. Then we have Militia Commander as a 4-mana rush minion. It's 2/5, 2 attack, 5 health. Rush, Battlecry, gain +3 attack this turn, so it's a 4-mana 5/5 the turn you play it, and it can trade into a lot of stuff and survive. It curves perfectly into Wood Splitter's Axe as well, and it also synergizes very well with the 1-drop. I think this is a very good card. It's an insane effect. In Arena, it's a great card. Really good Arena card. I think it's a very good ladder card. Like, if you're this in a tempo mid-range warrior deck, it's great. Is it a 4-star card? Probably not, but I'll go 3 stars on this guy. It will see some ladder play. It's pretty good. And it works well with the new weapon. It works well with the 1-drop. And it's just good for fighting for board. And I don't see how it's bad. Yeah, I'll give it a 3-star card. Actually, no, I think I'll give it a 4. I think it's really strong. 4-star card. Like, I think Darius is a 3-star, and this is a 4-star. So yeah, I'll give it a 4. I think it's a very strong card. So all in all, I think Warrior is getting a lot of good tools, and it's mostly in like a tempo mid-range style deck, not that aggressive, because none of this shit really goes face, so that's nice. The problem is Warlock is going to shit all over this deck. Because you're never going to get through all the Warlock stuff. But against everything else, except maybe Paladin, and even Paladin I think will do okay. I think Warrior will be in very good shape. I think Warrior will be very strong. I think Warrior could be tier 1, tier 2 going forward. I like what they've done with Warrior. Because you have a lot of good cards here. I think Town Crier, Woodcutter Axe, Crowley, Warpath, and Militia Commander are all quite strong. And Black Howl is like fucking rad. So yeah, I think Warrior got a lot of cool cards. Probably my favorite set of cards for any class. So Warrior and Mage are like... I think Warrior and Mage overall got the best class cards. Followed by like Shaman and Warlock. And then everyone else kind of got nothing. So I think Warrior... It's pretty exciting to play Warrior if you can dodge Warlock. So we'll definitely be trying some Warrior stuff out for sure, day one. Cool stuff. I like it. I'm pretty happy about the Warrior cards. So that's going to do it for the class cards. And yeah, I think the strongest classes going forward, if I would guess, I will almost certainly be wrong. But if I would guess, I would think Warlock is your strongest class, followed by maybe Warrior and then Mage. And then you got like, or Warrior, Paladin, Mage, and then you have like, Druid's going to be okay. Not because of any of these cards, but Druid's just going to be Druid. Hunter will... Oh, and Hunter got good stuff too. Hunter got good stuff too. I don't want to sell Hunter short. Hunter got some good stuff too. I think Hunter will be fine. Paladin didn't really get anything too good, but Paladin's broken because of Call of Arms, so Paladin will be fine. Priest got nothing, and they have nothing. Priest is probably going to be in the worst state it's ever been in, and I could not be happier. And then Rogue got nothing, but Rogue is Rogue. They'll find a way. I don't think Blink Fox is enough. But Rogue will find a way. It always finds a way. And Shaman got some cool stuff. Warlock got some good stuff. So, yeah. We're going to see Warlock, Warrior, Paladin, Mage, Shaman, Hunter. Should be a decent meta. Obviously, Warlock is very scary. Now let's look at the neutrals. On average, neutrals are just shit, but there are usually a couple sneakers in there that end up doing very well. So let's try and identify which neutrals are kind of going to help out the top decks out there. So this card, I don't see a world in which it can't be good. This is a 5-mana 3/12 taunt beast. Witchwood Grizzly. Has a battle cry, lose 1 health for each card in your opponent's hand. So if you're playing against an aggro vomit deck, it's great. It could even be a 5-mana 3/12 taunt. That's nuts. On average, your opponent's probably going to have like 4 to 5 cards in hand. So it's a 3-mana 3/6, 3-mana 3/7, which is okay. So overall, I think this card... And it's neutral, right? So you can play this in any class. I think this card definitely has the potential. It will see ladder play somewhere. It just has to. And I love the design. I think it's a good card. I think it's a 3-star card. It has to see play somewhere. So. Yeah. This card is not nuts in Druid, though. Anyone that thinks this card is nuts in Druid, you're silly. Yes, Druid has Witching Hour. But then you have to cut Spreading Plague. Then you have to cut the Death Knight. You cannot do those things right now in Druid. So it's just not good in Druid. But it's going to see play somewhere. It's going to see play somewhere. Oh, and it's really, really good with Master Oakheart. Master Oakheart pulls this out. And then it's a 3/12 off your Master Oakheart. So, is it good enough to run Master Oakheart just for this? Pretty damn good. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But it's good to see some play somewhere. I'm sure of it. So, I'll give it a 3 stars. It's a pretty good card. And I like the design a lot. Yeah, it's good with Hadronox, but unfortunately Hadronox is pure shit. Alright, we have Walnut Sprite. It's a 3-mana 3/3 Echo. This is just your typical pack filler card. It's a 1-star card on ladder. It's not bad in Arena, because you get value out of it, but it's a 1-star card. Not much more to say. It's just a card to introduce the Echo mechanic. It's whatever. It's not a 0-star card. It's 1 star. It's just like whatever. Then we have Unpowered Steambot. That's a 4-mana 0/9 mech taunt. This is a 0-star card, if there is a 0-star card. It is fucking awful. Like, Inner Fire Priest doesn't want to run this. You can't run something with no attack. You'd rather run Mogishan Warden, which is a 4-mana 1/7, right? And that sees no play. It's just too bad. It's a 0-star card. 0-star. And terrible in Arena. Fucking terrible in Arena. We then have Tangle for Mystic, which is a 3-mana 3/4 Battlecry at a random 2-cost minion. To each player's hand, so this is like Spellslinger that Mage had, but instead of random spells, it's random 2-drops. So you're going to play this, you're going to get Millhouse Mana Storm. Your opponent's going to get, like, Blood Mage Thalnos or Dirt. I don't know, something really good. It's a good Arena card, but you're not going to see this in Ladder. Stats are good, but stats have never been that relevant. 3-mana 3/4s have never really done much outside of Spider Tank, but that only did because it was a mech that went into Goblin Blast Mage, so yeah. It's a 1-star card, but it's a good Arena card. We now have Swamp Leech, 1-mana 2/1 Beast with Lifesteal. It's a 1-star card. It is, like, it's whatever. But this is cool for, it's another Lifesteal Beast for Rexxar. So that's very good, because currently, I don't know, I think the only one out there is the 5-mana 4/4 Beast. So now, Rexxar can more reliably get cheap Lifesteal Beasts. So this is nice for Rexxar. But in terms of, like, actually putting this in your deck intentionally, you're not going to do that. So it's a 1-star card. Actually, it's a 0-star card, let's be honest. But it's cool for Rexxar. It's cool for Rexxar. This is the most stupid fucking card. So we have Sandbinder. It's a 4-mana epic 2/4, right? Battlecry, draw an elemental from your deck. So there's a card that costs $0, right? Called Gnomish Adventure. It's a 4-mana 2/4. You get it for free, and you draw a card. This draws a specific card, but it's a freaking epic. Why is this an epic? It's like, it's stupid, right? Obviously, this card's not that good. Like, you don't really... There's no elemental you want to specifically draw right now. I think they have this in mind with the 7-mana 4/8 Shaman or elemental, but even that's not... You don't want to fish that out. It's just like, why are you paying to win with a Gnomish Inventor, man? It's so dumb. It's a 0-star card, and it's kind of insulting. Then we have Night Prowler, because it's a 4-mana beast 3/3, but Battlecry, if this is the only minion on the battlefield, gain +3/+3. So the dream is you play Doomsayer, and then you play this onto an empty board. You have a 4-mana 6/6. But if you're playing Doomsayer, you're playing a more of a control deck, and a 4-mana 6/6. It's not really doing anything for you. So it's like a 1-star card at best on Ladder. And in Arena, it's an okay card, but it's very hard to pull this off in Arena. It's almost impossible. So overall, this card's very bad. Yeah, it's not good. 1-star card. Yeah. Another Deathstalker Rexxar card. It's kind of a shitty one for Deathstalker. This one hurts Deathstalker Rexxar, unfortunately. We now have a new dragon called Marsh Drake. It is a 3-mana 5/4 dragon, Battlecry, summon a 2/1 poisonous Drake Slayer for your opponent. Now, you absolutely have to kill that Drake Slayer when you play this card. So you either need to be ahead on board, which is not that reliable, or you need to have the dagger up as a rogue, which is somewhat reliable, and there's no taunt around. So maybe in rogue you could play this, honestly. It's not that bad. And if Potion of Madness existed, this is fucking troll as hell in Priest. Because you could save this for any time, and then you play it, and then you kill whatever big minion you want. So, with Potion of Madness, this card actually probably would have seen play, and it would have been another spite option, so it would have been very easy for them to discover this and then make that combo. Thankfully, Potion of Madness is rotating, so that is not a viable option, and Shadow Madness is much too expensive to combo with this, so... I don't really see it being played. Maybe in Rogue, only maybe in Rogue, but even then, it's probably not worth it. But yeah, watch out for this in Wild potentially. Potion of Madness, it's very real with this card, very real. So I'll actually give it a 2-star card just for the potential in Rogue, but I don't see it making the cut in Rogue. But it curves perfectly with the dagger, right? So it's probably, but the stats aren't exactly crazy. Like 3 mana 5/4 is ahead of the mana curve, but not spectacularly. We then have the Mad Hatter, is a 4 mana 3/2 battle cry. Randomly toss 3 hats to other minions. Each hat gives +1/+1. I love this card. I think it is so cool and fun. Obviously, it's bad, and you're never going to put this in your ladder deck. I want to craft this shit golden. I hope it looks cool. I hope the hats look cool. But, yeah, it's bad stats. The effect can easily buff your opponent's minions. But it's hilarious. And you're going to see highlight reels of someone with 1 minion on board, but they need 3 attack for lethal, and they play a Mad Hatter, and every hat hits their minion for lethal. You will see that. You will see that highlight on Trollden, I assure you. But overall, it's a pretty silly card, but I love it. 1 star. We have a 2 mana common called Lost Spirit. It is a 2 mana 1/1. Death Rattle, give your minions +1 attack. It is garbage. The Death Rattle is not even that good, and it's just bad. This is a worst spawn in N'Zoth, which is already bad. This is a 0-star card. Don't play it, don't draft it, it's terrible. Life Drinker, 4 mana beast. It's a 3/3 battle cry. Deal 3 damage to the enemy hero. Restore 3 health to your hero. So basically you get a free Warlock hero power with this guy to the face. It's kind of like a lifesteal mechanic almost. I don't really see what deck you would want to play this in. It's actually not... It could be okay for Deathstalker Rexar for some extra reach and healing. So you might see it come out of Deathstalker Rexar, but in terms of a ladder card, no. It's not ladder at all. It's okay arena card, not great though, because 4 mana 3/3 effectively do nothing. It's not great. Yeah, it's a 1-star card, but I like the artwork. It's pretty cool. There's like a giant mosquito. And then we have Henchclang Thug, 3 mana 3/3 common. After your hero attacks, give this minion +1/+1. 0 stars. It's just... This card's fucking awful. It's just bad. 0 stars. Now have the replacement for Bog Creeper. 7 mana 5/9 taunt, Furious Etten. It's a good body, it's a nice sized taunt, it's really good in arena. But this is basically Bog Creeper with -1 attack, +1 health. That's all it is. It's literally the same card. It's just Bog Creeper. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of shit in arena. It's going to be good in arena, and that's about it. But it's a 1-star ladder card. It's not good enough. We have another demon, neutral demon, Fell Soul Inquisitor, 4 mana 1/6, lifesteal taunt, 1 0-star card. Like, this is garbage. It's fucking useless. There's no deck that makes this work. It's just no good. Stats suck. It's too slow to buff. It's not good. Now I have 8 mana common, Deranged Doctor. He is 8/8 in stats, so that's like Ironbark Protector stats. It's alright. Death Rattle, just restore 8 health to your hero. Wow, so it's a heal bot with a delayed effect. This card is so bad. Do you want to run this with Coffin Crasher and Priest? Maybe? Maybe this is a Death Rattle you could run in that Priest deck, but it's still pretty bad. I only see it with, like, Coffin Crash or whatever it's called in Priest. And even then, it's still probably too weak. But, I mean, getting it free 8/8 out is pretty nice. So you run, like, Obsidian Statue and Deranged Doctor? Maybe. Maybe that works, but probably not. But every other class can't use this card. It's terrible. Because you can't spend 8 mana to do nothing. You need to cheat this thing out. And you can cheat it out in Priest. So, maybe it sees some play there, but outside of that, no. In Arena, this card's fine. 8 mana 8/8s are historically okay in Arena. I actually gotta give it a 2-star. I'll give this card a 2-star because the stats are good. And I think it could work in that Priest deck. I just don't think it's good enough to make that Priest deck a thing. But don't sell this too short in Priest. Darkmire Moonkin. 7 mana, 2/8, spell damage +2. Add 5 dust to your account. This is a negative 1-star card. It's negative 1-star. This is the worst card of the set, by far. Like, I don't have... This is negative 1-star. This is unbelievably bad. This is never good. Unless you play the Priest Legendary, and then you curve out to a 7 mana 8/8. Spell damage +2. It's terrible. Negative 1-star. So now that Eater of Secrets is rotating, we need more Secret Hate card. It is a 5 mana 4/6. Battlecry. Destroy all enemy secrets. This is actually the best Secret Hate card they have printed, I think. The stats are actually good. A 5 mana 4/6 is not bad. It's like Skulking Geist is a 6 mana 4/6. This is 1 mana cheaper. Obviously, this is a tech card. And Ice Block is gone, so destroying secrets is a lot less valuable. So you're rarely ever going to see this card played. But as a tech card, it's perfectly fine. But it's a 2-star card. You're not going to see it on ladder because secrets are probably not going to be that prevalent on ladder. Ice Block is gone. And that was one of the main... Pretty much the only reason you ran Secret Tech was to get rid of Ice Block. And you don't have to worry about that anymore. So, I mean, it's a 2-star card. It's a tech card. If you need to destroy secrets, you throw this card into your deck. But it's 5 mana 4/6. Stats are fine, so it's okay. We then have an 8 mana elemental. It's 8 mana 7/7. Your elementals have +2 attack. Cool. 0 stars. Wormguard is a 7 mana neutral 3/11. Battlecry. If you're holding a dragon, gain +1 attack and taunt. So there's not a lot of good dragons right now. Like Priest would have been the candidate to run this card. It's very slow. It's a 7 mana 4/11 taunt, which is not that great, honestly. Like Ancient of War. It's a 7 mana 5/10. Sees no play. It's too slow. This is too slow. And dragon decks are not really that strong. And yeah, it's like this is like a 1-star card. It's just not, there's no deck for this right now. Don't see it. Yeah, 1-star card. And it's not a dragon too, which is relevant. We also have Swamp Dragon Egg, which is a 1 mana 0/3 Death Rattle. Add a random dragon to your hand. There are not a lot of good dragons right now, and you have to work to kill this. This is just not a good card right now at all. And it's 3 health. It's not the easiest thing to kill off. So, yeah, it's just... I mean, if you want to play this in like an Inner Fire deck, maybe. Maybe this is an Inner Fire target. I don't know. But I don't see it. I'll give it a 1-star just for the potential of an Inner Fire deck using this. But even then, I don't think you run this in a Zoo deck. Yeah. I don't see it. And there's a lot of bad dragons to get right now. And it's worse than like that Runic Egg, which was a 0/2, and that drew a card from your deck. This gives you just a random dragon. Yeah, it's a 1-star card. We have another beast. This is a 2-mana Lifesteal Rush beast. Vicious Scalehide. It's a 0-star card, but you might see this... It might be okay in Deathstalker Rexar. Combo it with something cool like Poisonous or whatever. It's not bad for Deathstalker Rexar. This is a nice card for it. But overall, ladder card's just terrible. And it's a shitty arena card. It's a 0-star card, but cool for Deathstalker Rexar. Good stuff. This card is cool. Baleful Banker. Battlecry, choose a friendly minion, shuffle a copy of it into your deck. It's 2-mana 2/2. This is basically Manic Soulcaster, which is a 3-mana 3/4 in Mage. Did the same thing. But now you can do this in classes that actually have minions you want to shuffle. Let's say you play this with the Shaman Legendary. You can get like infinite Shaman Legendaries potentially. So, yeah, this card could be very good in many different decks. There's no way that a deck does not find a use for this card. So, yeah, this is like a 3-star card. It will see ladder play somewhere. Somewhere, a value deck, somewhere will make use of this for sure. And the stats aren't terrible. The effect is really cool. Definitely a 3-star card. Too bad it's an epic, but whatever. It's a 3-star card. It'll see ladder play. And yeah, I agree, Deverer. This is a really nice card for Rexar. Very nice for Rexar. Lifesteal and Rush in one package is great. We now have Witchwood Piper, 4-mana Battlecry. Draw the lowest cost minion from your deck. I mean, what are you fishing for with this? Like, there's not any really early game card you want to fish for with this. I don't see it. It's a cool little kind of tech card, but I don't really see any current deck that can really utilize this right now. So, I don't know. Like, what do you want to fish with this? And it's slow, too. It's slow, so... It's a 1-star card. A cool effect, but I don't really see a current deck or archetype that would really want to make use of this. We then have Splittering Festeroot, which is an 8-mana epic, 4/4 Death Rattle. Summon 2/2 Splitting Saplings. Those Splitting Saplings then summon 1/1s themselves. So I believe you get, it's a 4/4 that turns into a 4/4 that turns into another 4/4. So it's 8 mana, 16/16. But in a meta of silence... And it's really slow. This is a very clunky card. Insane value, but it's slow. The bodies all suck. And my god, if this gets silenced, it's bad. Oh yeah, 8 mana 12/12, not 16/16. But regardless, I mean, this card is nuts in Arena, for sure. But in Standard, it's too slow, clunky, and my god, Spellbreaker ain't going anywhere, man. It ain't going anywhere. So it's a 1-star ladder card, but pretty good Arena pick. Now we have Mossy Horror. It's a 6-mana 2/7 Battlecry. Destroy all other minions with 2 or less attack. So this could be comboed pretty nicely with the Warlock spell. You can just play the Warlock spell once and then play this. You're most likely wiping the board. But it's a very expensive combo. And no other class can really utilize this too well. If Pint-Sized Potion was a thing, still, Priest could very well use this instead of Shadow Word Horror, but probably still wouldn't, because you kind of want to rip it out of Shadow Essence and stuff like that. So this is like a weird tech card that I could see only seeing any play in Warlock, and even then I don't see it. I'll give it a 2-star rating, though. It's not bad. It's nice to have a neutral Shadow Word Horror. That's pretty nice. Like, this kills Spreading Plague. This kills a lot of, like, aggro paladin shit. But do you want to run this in your ladder deck? Probably not. But it's not a bad card by any means. I just don't think it's good enough for ladder. But you can tech this for Spreading Plague and Paladin. Is that worth it? Probably not. And these type of cards have always been very good in Arena. Like Stampeding Kodo. is a good arena card. This is probably better than Stampeding Kodo. Now we have Countess Ashmore. It's one of the neutral legendaries. She is a 7-mana 6/6. And Battlecry, draw a Rush, Lifesteal, and Death Rattle card from your deck. I could see this being really good in Warrior, potentially. It can draw you your weapon, your 2-mana 2/2 weapon. It can draw you Rush minions. You can run Death Rattle. Actually, it can draw you the weapon or the Rush minion. It draws you a weapon. Blood Razor, the 2-mana 2/2 weapon. You can get one of your good Rush minions. You can run a Lifesteal minion. I don't know what you would run, but even if you only get 2 cards, it's pretty good. People have compared this to Curator, which is not really a good comparison because this does not have Taunt, and that's a big deal. Because that was 7 mana 4/6, stall the board a little bit. This is 7 mana, do nothing. This does nothing. This doesn't help save your life, right? Curator you could play to save your ass a little bit. This doesn't do that. I do not think this is a bad card. I know Crip was going off about how people are overrating this to hell. I'm sorry, but do you remember Ancient of Lore? That was a 7 mana 5/5, draw 2 cards and saw play in every single Druid deck ever until they nerfed it. 7 mana, draw 3 cards with a 6/6 body is good. There's no way that is not good. If you have the right deck for this, this card is like a 4-star card. Is that deck out there? Probably. I actually think this is like a 4-star card. I know it doesn't have Taunt. I know it does nothing. But 7 mana, draw 3 cards, and it's still a decent body. It's compared to Ancient of Lore. It's way better than Ancient. I know you can't heal with it, but Ancient of Lore, you rarely healed with it. I think it's a 4-star card. I think there will be decks that will make use of this. It's very good. It's insane value. And you can, draw Lifesteal, which could then help save your ass with, like, the Rush card will then help you battle for the board. The Lifesteal will help you heal, and the Death Rattle will get you value. Like, there's a lot to it, I definitely think it's a very good card. I'll give it a 4-star. I do think it's overrated by people, but I still think it's very good. And I remember I watched Crip's video. He's like, I was the only one that ran Curator or some shit. He's like, Curator was barely run. I'm like, Quest Warrior was every Quest Warrior deck. There was tons of like value decks that you would run it, like in Priest and Druid, and Curator saw tons of play. I ran it in my Dragon Warrior deck. It was really good in Dragon Warrior. I know it doesn't have Taunt, but it's a good body, and it gets you 3 cards, potentially. Even 2 cards is good. It draws non-creatures? What are you talking about, non-creatures? It can draw you a weapon. It can draw you a weapon. Death Rattle is weapon as well. Don't forget that. This is a good card. This is a very good card. It is a 4-star card. It will see play. I guarantee it. I probably will be putting this in my Warrior deck. It can also draw spells depending, but I don't know if there's a Death Rattle spell or a Lifesteal spell. I don't think so. It can draw it, but yeah. It is going to see play, I assure you. I assure you. We then have Worgen Abomination. It is a 7 mana epic. It's a 7 mana 6/6. At the end of your turn, you'll do 2 damage to all the damaged minions. The body is pretty bad. The effect can be really good. I think the only class that could ever make this work is Warrior. But Warrior has better options than this. It's really expensive. Like, you play Whirlwind and then this. I don't know. We'll see. I think it only has potential in Warrior. That's about it. So, just for that. I think it's a 1-star card, but it's okay in Arena, though. Like, you have a lot of damage minions in Arena, but in Standard, like in Ladder, it's not so easy. I'll give it a 1-star card. This card, I think, is nuts. This is Voodoo Doll. It's a 3 mana 1/1. Voodoo Doll. This card is so fucking good. I talked about Crypt with this. Crypt thinks this card is crap, and I think this is almost god tier. This is neutral hard removal for a lot. Like, okay, this card is a 3-mana 1/1 battle cry. Choose a minion, then Death Rattle, destroy the chosen minion. So, what classes can utilize this well? The ones that come off the top of the head are, and only really realistic, are Warlock and Mage. So Mage can play this for 5 mana and just ping it. So 5 mana Assassinate historically is not great, but it's okay. But there's also the bonus if you're running Death Knight Jaina that it's a 5 mana Assassinate, summon a Water Elemental, which is crazy. So a Mage, this card is very good, I think. Like, very strong. It's a hard removal, and the only real hard removal Mage has for 5 mana or less is Polymorph. And I think this is better than Polymorph, because it flat out removes the minion. But it doesn't silence it, so there is that. So, okay, there's the argument for that. Like, it's not better against Void Lord, right? But it's pretty good. And then, yeah, with the Death Knight, it's nuts. And then Warlock, it's a great Defile activator. You play this with Defile. So, like, say there's a bunch of cheap minions and then there's, like, a big threat. You just pick the big threat and then you Defile and you clear everything. It's great, right? You can use it with Mortal Coil. You can use it with Hellfire. You can use it with your own hero power after you Death Knight. And you can even, if you're really desperate, you can even pact it. You can run the new spell that discovers a demon with it. Like, there's lots of options. So, I think this is a 4-star card. Like, mainly in those classes. Warrior can maybe use it with Whirlwinds. It's not the worst there. Maybe Warrior could use it. I don't think Druid can use it, because their pings are weak. You have Wrath, and you have the Spellstone. That's not good enough. Rogue could backstab it, but that's probably not good enough. Shaman can't really do it. Priest can't really do it. But in Mage and Warlock, this card is potentially broken. I love the card. I think it's good. I'm giving it 4 stars, for sure. Just for Warlock and Mage. I mean, it doesn't have to be good in more than one class to be a 4-star card. If this card is really fucking batshit crazy in one class, then you can give it a 4 or 5-star card. That's all it needs. It doesn't have to be good in every class or any other class. If it's good in one class, it's a good card. And I think this is very good in potentially 2 classes. So I'm giving it a 4-star. I think in the Warlock and Mage, like, I'm going to try this in Warlock and Mage for sure. I will try it. I might be wrong, but I think it's very strong. We then have Dollmaster Dorian as a 5-mana legendary. It's 2/6 stats, so that it sucks, but whenever you draw a minion, summon a 1/1 copy of it. When I first saw this, I'm like, you motherfuckers, you just got rid of Barnes, and now Big Priest is back because of this, you bastards. Thankfully, you actually have to draw a card to get a 1/1 copy of it. Big Priest can't do that. But maybe Big Priest changes things up a little bit. You play this on 5 with Power Word Shield. Ugh. But then you have to hit a minion. Yeah, it's not going to work in Big Priest. Okay. So this needs to be like some like combo Druid deck kind of. Like, you play this and then Nourish and you hope to hit Malagos or some shit, or Auctioneer. And then you cycle with your Auctioneer. This card is a very high roll. You need to draw this first type of card. I only see this working in like a Druid deck, honestly. With like Auctioneer, Malagos. You can do a crazy Miracle turn with it. We'll see. I'm going to try and make it work. Maybe in Rogue too. I don't know. But it's expensive to combo, right? Like, we'll see. We'll see. It's a tough one to say. You're never having to survive a turn, though. It's an auto kill. It's easy to kill. So I don't know. Sense Demons with Void Lords? Yeah, that's a possibility. That's a 8-mana expensive combo. Don't know if I like that. Master Oakheart? You don't want to pull this out with Master Oakheart. It's kind of not what you want to do. I'm going to give it a 2-star. There's some potential. There's some definite combo potential with this card. I'm curious to see what some people are able to do with it. But as it stands, I don't see it making the ladder meta, but there's a possibility of it. The effect is definitely something we haven't truly seen before. Barnes is the closest equivalent, and it's not quite that. So I don't know. I'll definitely be trying it out, but I'll give it a 2 stars. And we have a 2-mana common spell shifter, has spell damage +1. It's a 1/4, so pretty whatever stats. It's power creep on what Ancient Mage or some shit. I can't remember. Which is a 3-mana 1/4 spell damage +1. But half the time this card is absolute shit. Each turn this is in your hand, swap its attack and health, so 2-mana 4/1 is obviously really bad. So half the time it's bad, and typically if you want spell damage, you just want something to combo. You'd rather just run Blood Mage, or even the 2-mana 2/2 spell damage. You're not going to run this card. This is a 0-star card, pack filler garbage. And then we have an 8-mana 8/3 rare Gilnean Royal Guard. It has Divine Shield and Rush. Each turn this is in your hand, swap its attack and health. So half the time it's pretty good as an 8-mana 8/3 Divine Shield Rush. Not the worst, not great. And then the 3/8 Rush is pretty fucking terrible. I don't know, this card's just whatever. It's a 1-star card, pretty damn good in Arena. This is a really nice Arena card, but you're never playing this in your ladder deck. Not a chance. But it's a pretty good draft pick in Standard. Or in Arena, sorry. Then we have Swift Messenger. It's a 4-mana 2/6 Rush. Again, the swapping attack and health thing. I think it's just bad overall. 4-mana 2/6 Rush is pretty whatever. 6/2 Rush sucks because it just dies to... I guess it can remove something with high health, but it's just bad. 1-star card. Now we have Witch's Cauldron. It's a 3-mana epic. 0/4. After a friendly minion dies, add a random shaman spell to your hand. So again, average shaman spells are not good. This is really clunky. It does nothing when you play it. You need to have a board to make this work. It is pretty bad, pretty 1-star here. But I am planning on playing this card. I actually am planning on playing this card. Because I want to pull off a combo, and I think it'd be really cool. So what you do with this is you play like a Tempo Mage deck with Sorcerer's Apprentice. You play this card, you kill off some minions, and you get lucky and you hit Unstable Evolution. Then you drop your Sorcerer's Apprentice, and you get infinite evolutions. I want to pull off that combo once. It'll take forever, but we're going to do it. That's one of the things I want to hit on the list. So this card will see play on ladder because I will play it. We're going to go for that combo until we hit it. It should be funny when we actually finally do. But we'll wait until that happens. But that's the only real fucking play I see happening with this card. It's a 1-star card. It's pretty cool, though. I like it. I will be trying it out. We will hit that combo, I vow to you. 1-star card. Ravencaller. 3-mana 2/1 common battle cry. Add 2 random 1-cost minions to your hand. This card is complete trash and useless. The stats suck. Average random 1-drop is crap. The value's not worth it at all. This is like a 0-star card. And in Arena, it's okay. Like, I'm sorry, this is not going to make Quest Hunter a thing. It's bad. It's no good. 0 stars. We have Clockwork Automaton. 5-mana 4/4 mech. Double the damage and healing of your hero power. If Raza Priest was still a thing, this is actually a crazy good card. If Raza Priest was still around, this card would actually be like a 4-star card. You would put this in Raza Priest with Velen. It would be nuts. Because it's cheaper. Wow. But thankfully Raza's nerfed in Standard and Wild. So yeah. I mean, you're just not ever getting much value out of this. It's a weird gimmick card. It's a 1-star card. It's alright, but whatever. You're not going to play that card. And then we have 3 mana, 3/4 Blackwalled Pixie, Battlecry, refresh your hero power. This is like, what? Is this your Auction Master Beardo replacement? Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Does this stack? It should. It should stack. If you have 2 of these out, you should get quadruple. I don't see why one. It's still not good enough. It's still too expensive for that, but it should stack, yes. So Blackwall Pixie, yeah, so you refresh your battle, your hero power. This isn't good enough for OTK Paladin because it's too expensive to do in one turn. So I don't really see it in that deck, but this card, like, with Gul'dan, it's actually pretty crazy, right? You can play 2 Life Sucks, or like, imagine this, you play this in Gul'dan and it's 6 damage. That's pretty strong, not worth running the card, but whatever. I don't see this seeing any play in on ladder, but it's I mean, good stats and the effect is fine, so it's a good arena card, and I just don't see it. Like, it's a 2-star card. Like, it's good, but not good enough. I don't see it. Double life tap. I don't know. Rexar decks. You have to play Rexar. I don't see it. I don't see it. When you're playing Rexar, you're usually not struggling getting enough beasts when you played it. I don't know. I don't see it. It's like a 2-star card. It's like an okay, decent card, but I just don't see it. We have Scaleworm, 4 mana, 4/4 beast, Battlecry for holding a dragon. Gain +1 attack and rush. That's a 1-star card at best. There's not a lot of good dragons. They're all rotating, and the effect is not even that great. And it's not a dragon itself. Yeah, 1-star card. And it's pretty shit in arena because it's not that easy to proc. We have Muck Hunter. It's a 5 mana, 5/8 rush, Battlecry. Summon 2 2/1 Mucklings for your opponent. So you play this and you can trade into something favorable, and they get 2 2/1s, which can trade into this to make it effectively a 5/4 or even less with what it trades into. Man, this would have been really nice off of Firelands Portal, I tell you that much. Holy shit. Imagine this and getting this off Firelands Portal. It's like almost as good as Doomguard. But that's not a thing anymore, so... it's not the worst card, but it's not that great. The Mucklings are a big deal. I don't know. I don't really see what you would play this in, but it's not the worst card. I'll give it a 2-star. It's okay. Some decks could combo with it. You could, like, Defile. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, you're thinking bouncing this? This is only active if it's on the board, Wexo. So if you play this, your damage is only doubled while it's live. Actually, I don't even know if it would. I don't even know if it does stack. I would think it should, but it's not a battle cry. It's an active effect, so this has to be on the board for it to work. Now we have Nightmare Amalgam. This card's cool. It's a 3 mana epic. And its thing is that it's every tribe, period. It's an elemental, it's a mech, it's a demon, it's a murloc, it's a dragon, it's a beast, it's a pirate, and it's a totem. So it gets eaten by every single tech card ever. Every crab in existence will eat this guy alive. But crabs aren't very popular right now. This is cool for, like, any deck where you really need to get tribal activations and you're struggling with it. Like in Priest for, like, Dustbreaker or something. I don't think it's enough to help Dragon Priest out, but it's a cool card that can help with your synergies. I don't know. Interesting. We've never seen a card like this. It's a 2-star card right now, I think. I don't see a place for it in any current tribe deck, but it's pretty cool. But yeah, it gets killed by any single crab will eat it. Really cool card, though. Really cool. I like it. We then have Rotten Apple Bomb. It's a 5 mana 4/5 taunt. Death Rattle. Restore 4 health to your hero. I wish this card was printed in expansion ago. I really do. I think this card could have really helped Jade Rogue be a thing. This card is really nuts with N'Zoth. Like, this card is very strong an expansion ago. Like, it's a taunt and it's healing, which is great. Like, Rogue could very well use this card. Rogue has traditionally struggled with healing and taunts. This is both. And the stats aren't that bad. It's just N'Zoth isn't around anymore, and this is so good with N'Zoth. I'm not willing to say that... I'm not saying this card has to find place somewhere, though. Like, it's a neutral taunt heal. It's gonna find a home somewhere. It's a really... I like the card a lot. I'm gonna give it a 3 stars. I don't think it's amazing, but I think it's very good. I don't know what deck it's gonna find a home in, but it's gonna find somewhere. It's just... There's no way it doesn't. I like the card. It's cool. I'll give it 3 stars. I think it's playable for sure. And if N'Zoth it was still around, that card is really good with N'Zoth. Like, that's... Like, with N'Zoth, what you really want is to get stuff that helps you the turn you play it. That's why Voidlords are crazy with it. It's giant taunts. And this would just be taunts with healing. That's awesome. But, yeah, it's not around anymore. I just wish they printed it before. But maybe they didn't print it before because of N'Zoth, right? They figured every single neutral deck would run this with N'Zoth and it'd be too powerful. So, well, interesting. I'll give it a 3. It's potentially a 4, but I'll give it a 3. We then have one of the other neutral legendaries, Gen Greymane, is a 6-mana 6/5. Start of the game, your deck has only... If your deck only has even cost cards, your hero power costs 1. A hero power costing 1 is not that powerful. It is certainly not worth gimping your deck over. This is a 1-star card at best, and it's a 6-mana 6/5 that you don't ever want to play, because it does nothing the turn you play it. So you're effectively making your deck a 29-card deck, and gimping it for a payoff that's not even that great. And the few minions that do synergize with this are crap. So, like, it's just not worth it at all. So, 1 star for sure. And then there's Pumpkin Peasant. It's a 3-mana 2/4 lifesteal minion. Each turn this is in your hand. Swap its attack and health. This is purely pack filler. It's a 1-star card. Or 0-star card. It's crap. Then we have Phantom Militia. This is a 3-mana 2/4 Echo Taunt. It's actually not that bad. This card's one of the better Echo minions, at least neutral ones for sure. You could run this in Quest Warrior if it's going to be a thing. Needs Warlock to go away. But this in Quest Warrior is super strong. Like, you can just, like, play 3 of these and you get your quest done. Like, bam. It's great. So, I think this could be a staple in Quest Warrior. And, I don't know. I'm actually going to give it a 3 stars. I think this card could see play once Warlock gets nerfed. Because I think one of the only things that really holds Quest Warrior back is Warlock. You don't understand, like, how powerful Quest Warrior can be. Like, 8 damage every turn is nuts, and it's not that hard to get to, and just running a bunch of AoE and taunts, it's great against any aggro deck, it's great against any control deck. If Warlock gets nerfed, I could really see, like, Quest Warrior coming back, and this card would be a staple in that deck. I'm giving it 3 stars. Future 3 stars. Right now, it's probably a 2-star card, but I think if Quest Warrior can come back and be a thing, this card will be in it. So, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't know. 3-mana 2/4 taunt is bad. It's not great, but repeating it's the main part that's good about it. This is like the worst card in the entire set. Baku the Moon Eater. 9 mana, 7/8 beast. So, terrible stats. Start of game, if your deck has only odd cost cards, upgrade your hero power. This card is terrible. An upgraded hero power is only decent in Warrior, Priest, and Paladin. And you have to gimp your deck for that, like, okay hero power. And then you have 29 cards in your deck because you can never play this card. There's never a world where you can play a 9-mana card that does nothing and has shit stats. So you're running a 29 card deck that is gimped with odd cost cards solely for the fact that you have an upgraded hero power? Give me a break. Like, this is a 0-star card. It's terrible. I don't see it at all. You're playing a 29 card odd cost card deck just so your hero power is a little bit better. No. And guess what? One of the decks where I thought maybe it could work is Paladin. Because 2 1/1s every, is crazy. But then you can't run Call to Arms. So what the fuck are you doing with Paladin with no Call to Arms, right? I don't see, you can't run... No, there's no way. There's no way. It's not good with Hunter, because Hunter's upgraded hero power is 3 damage. It's not that good. It never was that good. It's bad. Bad, 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 bad. Disenchant. Disenchant this card. Don't waste your time. And lastly, we have the last neutral legendary. 7 mana, 3/3. So absolutely terrible, terrible stats. It's Azalina, Soul Thief, Battlecry. Replace your hand with a copy of your opponent's. This is a meme card at its finest. It's a 0-star card that's going to see, no play. But, oh, it's kind of cool, I guess. But, yeah, play this against an aggro deck. Have fun. 7 mana, 3/3. Give your cards to them and get nothing back. That'll be... Well, I guess you don't switch, but... It's going to be a 7 mana, 3/3. Get nothing. Yeah, that'll be great. 7 mana, 3/3, do nothing. I heard some people like, oh, this card is crazy in aggro decks. You vomit your hand and you have nothing left, and then you play this. And know what you're gonna get back? Know what you're gonna get back if you're playing this in an aggro deck? You're gonna get some removal and healing. That's gonna help you kill your opponent. You don't want to steal control or mid-range cards back. That's terrible. This card is useless. It's a meme card. Hopefully it finds some good highlights, but yeah, this card's no good. It's like a 1-star card. I'll give it a 1-star, because the memes should be good. So, that's it for my review, boys. I don't believe we gave a single card a 5-star card. A 5-star rating. There's a few 4s, a lot of 3s. And a whole lot of crap, but that's to be given any expansion. The vast majority of cards typically are pretty crappy. I'm sure I'll be wrong on many, but I'll come back and take a look at my ratings and see. Thanks everyone that watched the review, and yeah. We'll see how Witchwood treats us, hopefully well. I'm very excited for the standard rotation.